I got to get comfortable.
Hey, this ain't a drill. Only time I'm playing is on the field. And when I'm on the field, no, I got mad skills. And you know we about to eat this a fast meal. Y'all gotta pay for this heat like a gas bill. We keep on coming back, so yeah, they mad still. Everyone sick, make them pay me some bad bills. Red, white, and blue like Superman, so you know we eating at the Super Bowl. Kill the competition, set up the funeral. Josh Allen catching all the shots you go for. We callin' blitz. Ready to start, we ain't calling no quits. I'm the #1 draft pick. A lot of y'all talk, but I ain't hearing it. Only listen to Keyshawn and Aaron. Talk about the Bills dominating on the field. All our players got them skills. Buffalo don't make a kill. When we talk about the Bills dominating on the field, and our players got them skills. Buffalo don't make a kill.
Hey there, buddy. You feeling okay? You need a hug? We ain't getting a hug in here because we ready to go in live, baby. It's time. It is time.
It's time.
Welcome to the Post Podium Podcast, home of the All Truth No Social.
Not today. Not today. Not today. I can't be held liable for what I'm gonna say today.
All right, home. Well, I can't even say home.
You can't even say it.
We about to go in today. It's about to get
Volatile.
ugly. We got a little bit of extra time today. We made time for this. So tune in, strap in, whatever. Get your drinks ready. Get your popcorn ready.
Put
it's
your
about
feet
to go
up because
down.
you're gonna be here for a while.
I am your co-host, Aramis.
And this is disgruntled. I mean, this is Key over here.
All right, so let's hop right into it. Let's hop right into it.
I ain't even got my notes up. Okay.
Is there anywhere in particular you want to start?
Man, it's all. Let's talk. Let's rap.
So let's start with this because I think this kind of goes into the big news of the day. Obviously, everybody by now you've heard Ken Dorsey got fired, right? But
You know what? Unlike Sean McDermott, before we go any further,
okay,
everything we say today, we're gonna say it with our chest. You're
Okay.
gonna mean what you say, and you're gonna say what you mean. Because today is the day, my friend. Today is the day.
well, you came ready.
Just everything I say is unadulterated, uncensored. You might see me in rare form today. I don't even know what I'm gonna give you today.
You got a cold brew in you?
I do actually.
Yo, that's what I'm talking about.
But
You ready?
I took my jacket off. It's go time.
All right, cool.
I'm gonna turn my hat around too. You know.
Whoa.
You see my face. Y'all gonna see my face today.
Yo, it's a bunch of firsts right now.
Yeah.
This is a big show.
I ain't worn my hat like this since 2018.
We might have to boost this show, post it everywhere. We already do. Anyway, let's start with this. Right. So I had a chance to talk to my pops, and I was very curious about what goes on in team meetings, right? Because we heard this year there's been 2 team meetings so far, and
Players only meetings.
yeah, I'm sorry, two players only meetings.
Just want to distinguish because yeah.
No. Yeah, thank you for that because that needs to be clear. So there's been 2 players only meetings with this Buffalo Bills team, and I've never heard of something like that going on more than maybe once in a season for a football team, right? So I asked him. I said, what really goes on in these meetings, right? And what he said was, in a players only meeting, it instantly becomes, never mind what the coaches is talking about.
Yep.
Never mind what they trying to push on. It's up to us.
Yep.
We got to take this thing over. We got to make this thing work. We got to do what we got to do to win games.
Yep.
Right? Now, what that speaks to is discord between the players and the coaches. Okay? Now, we don't necessarily know if this means that there was discord between the offensive coordinator and the players, or if there was discord between the coaches in general and the players. But we do know factually 2 different times the players have decided they needed to have a meeting to, kind of discuss this and then discuss it again.
Yeah, in a nutshell, what they're saying is we're not being gagged. We're going to speak freely.
Yeah.
There's no judgment. I want to know what you're thinking. F what the coaches say. F what they think. This ain't about them. What do you think? And that's what these meetings really are. And I think that's what he's probably driving home.
100%. And that to me is, it's kind of obviously it's a nail in the coffin for Ken Dorsey, but I think it's also adding one more how can I say it, one more charge on the long list of grievances against Sean McDermott as a coach, because you have a situation now where before it was you pushing coaches out the door, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now the players are at the point where forget what the coaches are saying.
Mm-hmm.
this thing is falling apart.
Ain't no coming back from that. There's no coming back from that.
Right. And even if you fire Ken Dorsey and you put Joe Brady in this position, let's be honest. Joe Brady has 1 year of NFL experience.
Can we talk about Joseph Brady?
Let's do it.
Can we? Okay. I'm glad you gave me the floor on that one because I actually have someone on Joseph Brady.
All right,
Joseph Brady was he was an offensive coordinator, 2 years? 2020 and 2021. Mm-hmm. 2020, his inaugural season as OC. The Carolina Panthers were 24th in scoring. Mm-hmm. So how do you, when you have tenure now, get 5 slots worse in scoring? You regress in your second year, thus losing your job as offensive coordinator in Carolina.
Well, according to this press conference that we were watching before the show, Sean was on with the media about an hour ago, a little over an hour ago now, but he talked about trying to bring a new energy and a new aggression to the offense. Mm-hmm. He wants the offense to perform better. He thinks Joe Brady will be able to get that out of the players.
McDermott's full of it because this is the funny part about it, and this really drove me nuts. Everybody's rejoicing because Ken Simon Dorsey is gone. Yes, Ken Simon Dorsey is gone. Everybody's rejoicing, but guys, don't. It's a smoke screen. Don't fall for it.
It is.
Do not fall for it. Joe Brady is not a viable option as an offensive coordinator. He will not be your OC next year. Okay? What's happening is last night, what was the issue? We lost because of what? Special teams, right?
You sure about that?
Special teams, right? Finger quotes. They can see me on the thing because a 12-minute on the field deal.
Okay.
They're going to blame it on Matt Smiley. Why is he still here? Because he needs one more scapegoat to get him through the next season. That's why he's still here.
Yeah, but we both know that's not going to work anyway. So here's
I don't know, man.
Here's my theory on the game.
Go ahead.
I don't even think it has anything to do with the special teams coordinator, to be honest. Mm-hmm. I think ultimately 12 men on the field, and I talked to my pops about this before, the show too. 12 men on the field. The players are supposed to know who's supposed to be on the field.
How about this? You got out coached. This is what it boils down to. The team ran off the field with no timeouts left, mm-hmm. with 13 seconds left on the clock, mm-hmm. right? 12 seconds, whatever it was. Mm-hmm. Why did they run off the field and line up right away and just kick the ball? What did they think was going to happen? You're going to catch the other team flustered, they're going to get confused, mm-hmm. and they're going to make a mistake. That's why he kicked the ball. Didn't care where it went. They already thought they were going to lose the game. This is like at the end of the game, when they say, do you want to go for the tie or do you want to go for the win? Let's go for the win. We're not supposed to be here anyway.
Right.
They created a timeout. Why didn't McDermott?
They didn't have any.
No, they created a timeout with that kick because they knew. Yeah. So I was almost calling them something else. Why didn't McDermott leave the defense on the field? Did you hear what he said at his press conference last night?
No.
He said, we practice getting from dime to...
I heard that. Yeah.
Who spends that kind of time practicing from dime to special teams, from field goals, from your dime defense, 2-3 days in a week?
Well, because this is not the first time
practices that.
This is not the first time Sean Payton's done this in the game.
But that's not the point. The point is you have a provision in place, which would be, what's the difference? What are they going to do if you don't have your special teams on the field? What are they going to do with your defense? Pass on your cornerbacks? They're going to pass?
Well, no.
And that's my point. If you alleviate yourself from the confusion in that situation, you should be if you were not the defensive coordinator, you would be over there saying, keep the guys off the field. We're running with defense on the field at all times because they have no timeouts. I don't want any mistakes. But instead, McBeanhead is over there doing his defensive coordination thing, mm-hmm. not paying attention like we said on Friday, and look what happens. Look what happens. And this is McDermott. This is what he does. This is a pattern. Every time. You smiling because you love this. You love it because you get to sit back and relax. Excellent. And I'm tripping because I'm sitting here. I'm like, okay, it's classic. There's nothing that you can do on I would rather my defense be on the field in case they fake something.
Okay.
But this goes back to your fumbling of your core special teamers, which we talked about. What was it? $15 million in core special teamers.
Yeah.
And what did I say was going to happen? Marvin Mims was going to run all over him. And what happened?
He ran all over him.
Special teams. Why can't the punter punt away from him? Because he can't. Because he sucks. And we're going to go through the punter's stats, and it's going to be eye-popping. It's going to be eye-popping when we get to this. I'm telling you, we're going to be here for a while.
pull it up now while we on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We here.
Shoot. All right.
We got time today.
I got to scroll down to this. I don't even know where I put it. Let's see. By Pro Football Reference. This is what I'm going by, okay? Let's see. Where are we? Punting. Yards per punt. We are 22nd in the league in yards per punt. Net yards per punt. We are third from the bottom. We're 29th in the league in net yards per punt. Kicks inside the 20. We are sixth from the bottom. What is that? 26th in the league.
Yeah, 26.
I mean,
and that's the reason they hired this guy.
That's why
he's
they
a
hired
directional
him.
punter.
Because he has no leg strength. He has no hang time.
Right.
And you know what? Let me, if I'm allowed, let me see real quick. What did he do in the game yesterday? Hey.
Yo, show today.
Hey, I'm volatile. Anybody that follows me on Facebook, you already saw it coming. Don't say you didn't, because I told y'all all day this is going to happen. His average hang time, 3.7 yesterday. 3 point. You may as well rugby kicked it. You may as well college style rugby. You have no hang. What do you do? What do you do? How much does this guy make? He makes more than $1 million. He makes more than most punters.
You think it has something to do with the wind swirling around the stadium?
It had to be, because it had to be.
Yeah,
it had to be.
Not that I'm trying to get a dude the benefit of the doubt. But
it had to be. It had to be something, because he hasn't done this all year long. Look at his net.
Yeah.
30 yards net. He netted 90 yards in punch yesterday on 3 kicks. 90 yards. Inside the 20, none. The man has a noodle leg.
Well, they were on the wrong side of the field most of the game too, though.
Well, my thing is, if you only get 90 yards in net, you would think it'd be a touchback somewhere. You would think it'd be inside.
Yeah.
No. Because why? You knuckleballed it right to the guy and he ran it down your throat. What did they say, Little Giant? You want the ball first? What did he say? He said, do you want us to kick it off to you? We take it from you and run it down your throat? Or do you want to kick it off to us and we run it down your throat? Just do it. Everything is wrong, man. Everything is wrong. Back to your point. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
You good? You good?
Today is the day.
Yes, sir.
Today is the day.
Oh, I'm with it.
I hope you guys are enjoying this.
Let
I hope you guys stick with us, because it's going to be some content. If you can't stay with us the whole time, come back to it later. I guarantee it'll be worth it.
So I thought this was pretty interesting. In the press conference yesterday, Sean did a lot of defending of his defense. Those guys played their hearts out. They did the best they could, blah, blah, blah.
They did.
Right? Mm-hmm. Okay. I disagree with that.
No, they did.
They did what?
They did play their heart the best they could, because they're not that good.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay.
They're practice squad and backups.
Listen, anybody that's sitting there thinking to themselves, man, the defense did, they did better than the offense. You gave up a scoring play after you scored a touchdown. Not only that, but you allowed this team to get down into field goal range in order to kick a field goal on the last drive of the game. This is reminiscent of 13 seconds. Is reminiscent of the Vikings game. Is reminiscent of the Texans game in the playoffs. It's reminiscent of
the season.
Right.
Because what do we have again? Which I said last week, 42%. What is that number, guys? The offensive conversion third down rating. 42%. They went 8 for 19 on third down. But the defense, they couldn't get off the field. The offense couldn't. Man, get out of it. But man, miss me with that.
They're technically, for the season, they're one of the top teams in the league on third down, though. No? Misconception. No. Okay.
No, they're not. They're over 40%. They're over 40%. Actually, you know what? You might be right, but this is the worst.
I know they're a terrible second down team.
Well, no, this is the worst they've ever been on third downs in Sean's regime.
So
ever.
Right.
So you might be right.
They're still good, but they're worse than they were.
They're way worse than they've ever been.
Right. Okay.
So you're right. I'm sorry about that.
No, you good.
I'm piped up. I'm on edge, folks.
So I really take issue with the way that Sean has approached, everything that led up to Ken Dorsey being fired, because at the end of the day, you've said in press conferences, you've had Ken Dorsey saying in press conferences, I oversee all 3 phases of the game, right? If you oversee all 3 phases of the game, how do we end up with 12 players on the field? right? If you and not, you know what? Forget special teams. Why in the hell are we zero blitzing on third and 10 when they're already out of field goal range? I could understand if they would have showed that and then backed off into coverage. They spent most of the second half rushing 3 and dropping 8.
You let Russell Wilson give you the best Patrick Mahomes impersonation I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Seen. I mean,
and the deep ball is his specialty. Like, that's what he's best at, is throwing the deep ball.
Deep ball is his specialty, but those little flips for third down, those little runs where there's no stunt, there's no spies. Even it was caught on the broadcast. I'm surprised they didn't spy there. I'm surprised. This is exactly where you spy. But no, we bail out.
So I don't think Dorian Williams was doing it right, because there were times where they did spy with Williams, but they would spy with Williams and they would have 3 rushing, right? But Williams would go up and engage with a blocker and then try to shed the blocker to go get Russell whenever he tried to scramble.
So guess what, McBoone? And that's what I called him. For you guys who don't know the reference, Coach Boone from Remember the Titans.
Okay.
What did he say? If you drop the ball, you run a mile. If you miss a tackle, you run a mile. He said, I want perfection. So you bench James Cook. On your unit, somebody is making mistake after mistake after mistake, and you just let them keep going. On your unit.
And you defending that.
And you defend them. Whereas James Cook didn't drop the ball. The guy had 2 hands on the ball.
He ripped it,
pulled the man's arm down out of socket.
Yeah.
And he gets benched for 3 series.
Right. And that was his first fumble since his first carry last year.
Right.
Last year.
Right. And then, you know what, guys, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry to you. I'm going to go on a tangent. It just made me think.
Go.
And then, what did they say? Oh, I'm glad they benched him. It made him angry. No, it didn't make him angry. If anything, he wanted to sock the coach out.
Right.
Because what you guys don't realize is this. Denver is the worst rushing defense in the league.
Exactly.
They're the worst team against tight ends in the league.
That's how you explain how that stupid draw from the shotgun worked several times on that defense.
Because they had whatever they wanted.
It's worked against nobody else in the league the whole entire season.
Whatever they wanted.
Right.
On the ground. Whatever they wanted. And they didn't take advantage of it.
Yeah. But then Sean goes on to start talking about how we need to take care of the football. We can't turn the football over. All these things that infer that the blame for this loss is on the offense. No. If we're really being objective and looking at how this game played out at the end, the offense did enough to win you the game. They went down and put you ahead of the Broncos. At that point, it was the defense's job to stop them. Mm-hmm. The defense did not do that. Right? Mm-hmm. How are you blaming the offense and firing the offensive coordinator when really the real reason you lost that game? Like, we can play semantics however anybody wants to play it. If you want to play semantics, go ahead and hop in the chat. We can go back and forth. That's fine. But for those people that are trying to say, well, had the offense scored in the first half, had to say, like, if it's in butts
or candy and nuts,
right?
I don't know the rest of it, but
me either. But
right.
that's what this really boils down to, because factually, the offense scored enough points to put you in position to win the game. Mm-hmm. At that point, after they scored, it fell on the defense to do their job. So really, if we're looking at this, which one of those teams, defense or offense, didn't do their job when it counted the most? Right? It was the defense. It was the unit that Sean McDermott coaches, right? But he's not going to fire himself.
No, I mean, and this is, well, let's do that later. But this was something that was said earlier, it was Sakapachi and Matt Bove. I know I mentioned them a lot because I actually took a shine to their It's Always Game Day in Buffalo podcast. But regardless, what really got me was Sakapachi said something about the defense was on the field. They shouldn't have been on the field. They've been on the field the whole game. That goes back to the third down. How many third downs did they convert? How many long plays did they convert on that last drive?
Right.
They could have got off the field. Nobody told them they couldn't get off the field. The offense didn't have any more turnovers after what? After the Josh Allen fumble.
I don't mean to interrupt, but real quick, are you noticing a trend now with teams driving in the fourth quarter to win the game?
Yeah.
They all go after Terrence Johnson.
They always do. Yeah.
They all go after Terrence Johnson.
Yep.
And right now, technically, Terrence Johnson is supposed to be our best corner. Mm-hmm. And they go at him at the end of these games.
Yep.
That should tell you something. These players are not as good as this team has made them out to be.
Nope.
Especially in key situations like that. They're just not.
Yeah, it's by default right now.
Right. They'll make plays, when it's convenient or when they don't really need the big play. But at the end of the games, it's over. It's like they can't think for themselves.
It's like a Belichick situation where they bait you into thinking that you're doing something right and you're really not.
Right.
They're just rope-a-doping you.
Right.
And man, it's just watching somebody play checkers when they're supposed to be playing chess every week at this point. Mm-hmm. And it's been like that since this man has been the DC. Not because he doesn't know how to be a DC. He doesn't have time to focus. But instead of saying, hey, acquiesce and say, you know what, I need some help. Yeah. Al Holcomb, what do you got? Eric Washington, you're my assistant head coach.
You really think those guys are going to be able to help him?
No, but my point is
okay,
that's my point. One is the assistant head coach, and one Eric guy is a defensive assistant, senior
defensive assistant.
Yeah. So you would think if you hire these guys, you should be able to lean on them to tell you stuff.
Yeah, but
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying.
No. I agree with you. Yeah. I'm not disagreeing. All I'm saying is Holcomb wasn't fired to be Sean's assistant.
Right.
Holcomb was fired to be Frazier's assistant and report to Sean, right? Sean wanted to be able to get more information, to get more of the happenings and goes on, on a day-to-day basis of what's going on with the defense. So he hired a guy that he felt he could trust to be, a part of that process, right? Mm-hmm. But when Frazier left, that left Sean at a disadvantage. Right. Mm-hmm. And we're seeing that now. Right. Sean was not prepared for this. He wasn't prepared to come in and coach this defense this year. It's just something that happened. And while this defensive line is playing more aggressive, these corners are not. The secondary is not. The linebackers are.
And the thing about it, we talked about it last time, is you have to adjust when you don't have your starters.
Yeah.
You can't do the things that you wanted to do when you first set out this season. You have weeks between games, not multiple weeks, but you have a week between each game, with the exception of the London game or whatever, where you had 5 games or whatever it was. To put a game plan in, that's what they say. We have to put a game plan in.
But when you can't do that, you can't do that if you don't have a freaking scheme.
Right.
If there's no scheme to the defense and all you're doing is, oh my God, did this thing just die?
What's that?
No, my laptop just jumped in and out.
Oh, okay.
If you don't have a scheme,
you did it with your brain,
and it probably got scared from you screaming. If you don't have a scheme, and you're just paying players to go and play positions and do what their position is supposed to do, there is no adjustment. The adjustment is getting a different player in there.
Yeah,
that's really that's why they go and sign Von Miller. They don't sign Von Miller because they know they can scheme him open and make him a superstar in that defensive scheme.
He does it himself.
Yep. They go get Von Miller because he can go out there, like you said, and do it himself. Mm-hmm. And that's a problem because right now he's not doing it.
He gets hurt. What happens?
Exactly. Your best defensive end right now barely gets on the field. AJ Epinesa is playing with more energy, more gusto, more anything than any other defensive lineman on his team, not named Ed Oliver, and he can't seem to get enough reps to make a difference in the game.
What is that? What is that?
It's idiocy.
We don't want to showcase him because we want to re-sign him next year on the low.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
That's what it is.
And I wouldn't be surprised if that's why they're not throwing Gabe Davis 10 targets a game. Mm-hmm. Because there's enough targets to go around. Huh?
Because they want to re-sign him on the low.
Exactly. All of this is strategically done to benefit the Bills. And I'm not saying that no other teams do this, but when you are dependent as heavily as the Bills are on players' skills and abilities, but you keep hiring players with low ceiling skills and abilities, you're setting yourself up for failure. Mm-hmm. Every one of these players on this team, there's only 2 dogs on this team, and one of them is neutered right now. Mm-hmm. Josh Allen is neutered, right? The only other dog we got is Steph Diggs. Von Miller, he passed his prime. I don't even know what to expect from the dude no more. I can't even say he's a dog.
Situational pass rusher, that's what he is.
Right. And the same can be said for Ed Oliver. Ed Oliver needs a whole nother player next to him in order for him to be effective, so I can't even really say he's a dog, right? So if I'm looking at this situation and I'm saying to myself, okay, you've built a team full of guys who are culturally right, and you're trying to pay these players to go out there and make plays and be the reason that you win games, right? Because you don't have a scheme, and it's not working. What's the issue? How can you not see as a head coach that you're drafting and signing players who are slower than everybody else in the league, who are older than everybody else in the league, and are less talented than everybody else in the league, but you're expecting Super Bowl caliber play out of these guys? That is the highest level of arrogance there is.
Yep.
To think that you as a coach have enough to squeeze extra talent, extra speed, extra athletic ability out of players that don't have it.
You can maximize all you want, but you're only going to go so far.
Right. And really, I mean, if we look at the best defenses that we've had in the last 15 years, it was who?
Best defense we've had in the last 15
Schwartz.
years? I was going to say, yeah.
It was Schwartz.
Yep. Easily.
Schwartz had a scheme. He played the wide nine.
It was a simple scheme.
It was a very simple scheme, right? It was easily run on, but I do believe that's because we didn't have the right tackles for that scheme. But it was the best performing defense that we had. They got sacks, they got turnovers,
See,
they shut teams down.
We can live with that. You can live with getting run on when you're built to get to you're doing what you're built to do, which was get to the quarterback, like you said, the cold front. That was their name at the time, and they did exactly what they were built for. So you can run for 10 yards if you got to get 20.
Right.
I mean, if you're playing at a deficit the whole game, I don't care what you run. I want you to run.
Right. But the point of me bringing that up is this, though. It comes down to how you are using the players that you have. I get it. You're trying to keep a culture together. You're trying to keep an atmosphere together that fosters togetherness, unity, and all the things necessary to endure a long season and all the ups and downs. I get that. Every team wants that. But you know what works better?
What's that?
Winning. When you're winning, it don't matter. Nothing else matters. The bickering Bills were going to Super Bowls fighting each other in the locker room. They were going to blows. And then they go out on the field and they dominate.
Right.
So what are we really talking about when we're talking about culture? What we're talking about is Sean coming in here and selling himself as another Bill Belichick.
Right.
And I think we're seeing if you don't have a scheme that fits your quarterback, or if you don't have the greatest quarterback of all time, that model doesn't work. It didn't work before Brady, and it's not working after Brady. And Sean McDermott is squandering the lifespan of our superstar quarterback. He's squandering it. And yes, I can say superstar quarterback. I actually went back and forth with people on Facebook about whether or not Josh is elite. Listen, in 2019, 2020, and 2021, the world witnessed Josh's growth, and pretty much everybody could agree that he was elite athletically. He may not have been elite mentally at the time, but he was playing in a way that nobody expected him to play.
Yeah,
nobody.
He's physically superior.
Right. And what Dayball was able to do was get him to play his wild style and all that stuff within a certain amount of structure, within a scheme, right? When you have a scheme, you can do things like that. You can let players be themselves and be free and just go out there and play the way that Sean has been trying to do with this defense, right? But what you can't do is tell your player to go out there and be free and there's really no scheme. And then when it falls apart and you have no adjustments, now you start pointing the finger at the quarterback. Well, if he stopped throwing interceptions, if we stop getting turnovers, well, wait a second. How are you helping your quarterback? Because that's the next point we got to get to. How has this team helped this quarterback over the last 6 years. This is the first time, this offseason was the first time that they invested in the offensive line since 2018.
They put a spell of vitality on Steph Diggs because he hasn't missed a game since he's been in Buffalo. The only game
you gave the man one receiver.
The only game, right? The only game that he's missed was the game that they played at the end of the season. It didn't matter. It was the last game of the season. I forget what one it. He played like 2 snaps or something like that. So he didn't start. So it didn't register. But outside of that, he's had Steph Diggs every step of the way.
Right.
A third of his offense in number 14.
So you've got one guy, right? But if you look at, okay, this should bring the point home. Okay, how many weapons does the Lions have?
A lot.
How many
more
weapons,
than they can put on the field?
How many weapons are we seeing now that the Houston Texans have? Mm-hmm. They were down their number 1 receiver and beat the team that beat us last week.
And I swore I said when we took Hardy, I said, why don't you just draft Tank Dell?
Right.
I swore I said it. I had him in numerous mock drafts. We weren't doing the show at the time, but Tank Dell was something I'm like, that's the guy we need. Isaiah McKenzie replacement. And he's been going ballistic.
Yep.
With a rookie quarterback, with a rookie head coach in Houston. But we're sitting here watching the same BS, the same perpetual crap. It's old. And anybody that can't see that, it's just rinse and repeat. They just change the faces. And that's why Joe Brady is just a change of a face. Nothing else is going to change. Nothing's going to revolutionize. He doesn't have autonomy.
No.
If he had autonomy, guess what? He had been gone with Dorsey.
Right.
Because like Dorsey said, and you said it numerous times last show, the thumbprint of this team is whose thumbprint is on this team?
Sean.
On the offense.
Sean.
On the defense.
Sean.
On special teams.
Sean.
And none of these units are performing.
None.
You got rid of Dable. Yeah, okay. The Giants aren't doing great. But I bet you Dable was the one that was keeping Josh Allen. And McDermott was like, yo, I don't want him doing that. Dable was like, go eat one.
Right.
Go eat one. And Josh never knew.
Yeah. Yeah, and that, I wanted to make sure we brought that up too because, the topic of argument for Dayball and Sean, we talked about in the last episode about why Sean wasn't getting along with Dayball from the standpoint of the team saw Dayball as another head coach, and Sean didn't like that, right? But the other side of that was Sean trying to come in and tell Dayball what to do with Josh.
You say, nah.
And Dayball's like, yo, let him play.
For you guys that know the show, Welcome Back, Cotter, up your nose with a rubber hose. That's what he said. Up your nose with a rubber hose. And I'm going to leave it at that. If you weren't born in the 60s or 70s, you have no idea what I'm talking about. I was born in 84, but I was raised a little older than normal, so don't worry about that.
Right. Right.
My therapy session, I can say what I want.
That's true. That is true. That is true. It's your show. But yeah, so all of what we just have discussed regarding Sean McDermott, I think is what comes to mind when we're thinking about how Sean tried to blame the offense for this loss and blame the turnovers, right? There's a lot of people, calling shows and posting on social media about how, your quarterback is the problem, right? How do you explain Josh Allen being a problem in his rookie year, not having accuracy, not making great decisions, and then suddenly, miraculously, in 2019, throws for 3,000 yards for the first time in his career, throws for 20 touchdowns and 9 interceptions, right? That his second season, he became a completely different quarterback. What was the difference? 2018 was Rick Dennison. 2019 was Brian Daboll. No,
Dennison was 17.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dennison was yeah. So I'm sorry. So Daboll was there before Josh got there.
Yeah,
my bad.
He came same time.
Yeah. So.
But I mean, it still lends to be true. Daboll he's putting the system in the first year, which Dorsey put his system in last year per se. Second year it was go.
But
time.
It was supposed to be a continuation.
Right. Well, this is what I was getting at when I said the up your nose with rubber hose thing. he had Josh Allen feeling himself a little too much because Josh thought it was him. He started probably thinking, "Hey, it's me. This is offense is me. I'm doing what I want." He didn't. Dable, he insulated him from what was going on. What the outside noise was. What McDermott was saying. He didn't want what he wanted to happen. This, that, and third. I don't want Josh doing. Dable was like, "It's working. Leave me alone. Kiss my butt."
Yeah. Okay.
And then guess what happened? He out of here.
Right. Now it's his fault.
Right. So I mean that, and that's why I think for your point. It took Dable 2 years to institute his offense. Mm-hmm. Well, actually 1 year, and the second year it's go time.
Right, that's when it blew up.
He blew up when he institute. Last year was Dorsey's year.
Right.
This year we're supposed to blow up if you're any kind of OC. But guess what? He has no experience.
Exactly.
And you fire him a year and a half into his tenure, you're screwed him, man.
Yeah. After you done dipped your hand all in his mix while he was trying to mix it up.
While he was trying to mix it up. You told him what he was in over his head. You could tell in his face he wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
You could tell.
Yeah.
So don't do this to this man. Yeah, he was fault. He was at fault. It was his offense. It didn't work. But he never should have been here. Who decided that was the right move?
That I've been saying that all freaking day since last night when people have been complaining about the offensive coordinator. Who hired the guy in the middle of a Super Bowl window?
Who hired the guy? And who co-signed it? The one that's sitting there in press conferences.
Josh.
Mr. It sucked. Dude, shut up. Shut up.
Right.
You're not. You're as talented as you want to be. You're as good as you want to be. You are going to be a Hall of Famer one day, but you are not my team's leader. You're not.
Yeah.
Mitch Morse bailed you out yesterday. Yeah. He bailed you out in that press conference because I don't even want to hear you talk no more.
Well, again, I think what we're seeing with Josh is a manifestation of his frustration with where he is. So I put it like this. Whenever Josh didn't agree with something that Sean was doing and Daboll was here, Daboll was the buffer.
Exactly.
Right? That's why the offense especially looked at Daboll as the head coach, because Daboll could fend off Sean and it was fine. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Now there's no more of that. Now it's only Sean. Now it's only his way. Now there is no other alternative. Right? Yep. And that can make a person miserable when they're used to having that buffer. They're used to having a little bit of, leeway to kind of, take ownership and stuff like that. Josh can't take ownership of this. He can't.
Josh was feeling himself, and it was brought up. It was brought up on a couple shows, and I didn't pick up on it only because I didn't watch the interview. But they said, when he was talking to Tom Brady, Brady said, he was giving him nuggets. He was saying, do this, that. I don't care what Buffalo says, the greatest of all time. Mm-hmm. He's telling you, just like when Jordan was with Kobe, when Kobe was little.
Yeah.
Dude, he sees this in you. Jordan didn't waste his time on Tyronn Lue.
Right.
Jordan didn't waste his time on Ross Bagley. Yep. Jordan saw you as the next one.
Yeah.
Brady saw you, not Mahomes, as the next one. It said, do this, do that for longevity. You got it. Just do this. I'm good. Excuses.
Yeah.
And all you want to do is go play with the girls, play with the golf clubs. I mean, we see the other guys doing work. We saw Gabe Davis doing work. We saw Dawson Knox doing work. We saw Isaiah McKenzie last year doing work.
Who knew who Josh was before we drafted him?
Nope.
Sean knew. Listen.
Oh, you mean in terms of what he? Yeah.
They knew who he was before he drafted.
Yep, you're right. Yep, I got you.
They knew who he was, and these teams hire private investigators. They do all kind of extensive, background checks and looks into the personal life and all that kind of stuff. So they know exactly who these people are behind the scenes when they think nobody's watching, right?
Yeah, because they found that tweet,
right? So the Bills knew this. Mm-hmm. They knew who he was, and they drafted him anyway. Mm-hmm. Why? Because they thought they could win games with him. They thought they could turn him into who he was in 2019, 2020, and 2021, right? That was their ultimate vision for Josh. But now you're in a situation where you're basically, as a head coach, Sean McDermott is allowing his quarterback to get killed. Mm-hmm. And okay. Let me put it like this. I could understand if Sean didn't like the decision in the first place, and this was a draft by Brandon Beane, right? And after Dayball leaves, Sean is just like, you know what? I don't even really like this dude, so whatever happens with him, he can leave, right? But Sean is part of every facet of this team, right? And ultimately, he has final say of who he has on his team.
Did you hear what he said?
What?
Did you hear what he said in the conference when asked about the termination of Dorsey? He said the decision to terminate Dorsey was mine and mine alone.
Wow. Well, I mean, who else is going to help him make that decision? Nobody else is on his level. Everybody else that would have been on his level, he ran him out of the building. Chad Hall left. Dayball left. Frazier left.
Look here. Look where that. I wrote it in my notes. Go ahead, this your spot. This your spot.
Every single person that was in that building when he first got the job that he brought in order to give him wisdom, in order to give him, the right habits and all that kind of stuff. Once they got to AFC Championship games, he thought he arrived.
Yep.
That's when he started arguing with offensive coordinators who've been doing a job longer than he's been a defensive coordinator.
Yep.
That's when he starts getting into not back and forth, but kind of leaning on the defensive coordinator to do things more his way and end up running him out of the building. Like, Sean should be thankful that Frazier didn't write a memoir or something like that and blow this thing out the water.
Not yet.
He needs to be thankful for that.
Not yet. It's coming.
Well,
he just writes slow.
He's as passive with his writing as he is with his defense. That's cold-blooded. That is cold-blooded.
He just writes slow.
But the main point is this. The main point is this, and this is why I said you knew who Josh was when you drafted him. Mm-hmm. Sean made the final decision to draft Josh Allen at 7 overall. Right? Knowing who he was. Now, I came up with a comparison for Josh Allen from the NBA. And I think you might like this, and I actually am going to ask you for your input on it, just to kind of give more context to that player's situation and how that player compares to Josh.
I think your producer might wake up if he hasn't heard this already.
Huh?
Your producer might actually wake up on this if he hasn't heard this already.
Maybe. We'll see. So I compare Josh Allen to Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, he woke up too. Yeah,
here's why. He did wake up. He turned right around and gave me this thing.
Like that.
Right. Here's why. Mm-hmm. Carmelo Anthony kept his style of play no matter what.
Yep.
He was going to dribble. He was going to find the open shot. He was going to take the open shot.
Yep.
And even if he wasn't open, he was going to make a play.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He was going to take the shot. Right. So Carmelo Anthony's style was he was a playmaker. He wanted to be a playmaker. He wanted it to be on his shoulders. Mm-hmm. Okay. Josh plays the same exact style of football as Carmelo Anthony did in basketball. Right. Mm-hmm. Now, Carmelo Anthony with the Nuggets, they did make a finals.
They did.
Right? They made it to the big dance. And it didn't work out. And I think the knock was they didn't have enough around Carmelo Anthony at the time to really win it all. Right? Because they never went back after that one time they made it to the finals. Right. And I think the same could be said for Josh when he made it to the AFC Championship game. He didn't have enough around him at the time to win that game against the best team in the NFL in the Kansas City Chiefs. Right? Now, you can give a little bit more context about what the Nuggets did after that, but for the comparison's sake, the Bills, who did they really add to the offense after the AFC Championship game?
Retreads. I mean, they added
retreads. It was either players that were there, the year before that they let go, or it was, some guy from some other team that wasn't a starter there either.
Yeah, it was a leader. That's what they brought in leaders that had been there so they can flash their ring, and we still don't have one. That's the big issue with them. After Melo did his song and dance and got out of Denver, and this is where I don't want you guys to think I'm pulling the parallel and saying Josh should leave it. After Melo left, the Nuggets got better, got way better. We traded with the Knicks, and we got a haul for Carmelo and Chauncey Billups, which I'm still mad that we gave up. But in the long game, we got better. We had, I used to love the guy.
Please don't.
I won't say his name.
I know you do, but unless you want this whole desk to get flipped over, do not say that man's name.
We got to flip the desk over for Bills only. So,
okay.
So they got rid of George Karl. They got Mike Malone. They got a sleeper in Jokic, a second rounder, number 41 overall.
Right.
They built around. They had Jamal Murray. They had Gary. But what I'm saying is they got young talent.
Yeah.
They didn't go out and get old guys.
Right.
They had Kenyon Martin. They had blah blah blah. Yes, son. Your name is like Kenyon Martin. That's right. We talked about this already. But but the thing is, unlike the Bills, they identified their star, whoever it was at the time, and built around him.
Right.
They didn't go ahead and whatever it was at the time. Marcus Camby was on the team at the time too. But they didn't say, let's bring in somebody that can't play anymore. That's been there.
Right.
That's got 1 foot in the coach's shoe anyway.
Anquan Bolden, Vontae Davis.
Right.
Yeah.
They didn't bring those guys, and they were competitive.
Right.
They didn't feed us song and dance. We had to watch them suck for a while. We had to wonder what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
But at the end of all that, they made the moves. They cleared the spot, and it didn't take a long time.
Mm-hmm.
This team is going to keep spinning their wheels, and people are going to, we fired Dorsey. Yes, we're back. No, stop that. And that's where I'm going to be like you. You know how you always say, guys, it's not going to change until you change it. Don't believe the hype.
Yeah.
Don't believe the hype, because you got to cut off the head to get to the body.
Yep.
They just taking body shots.
Oh yeah.
The brain is intact.
The verbiage of the offense is not going to change. The plays are not going to change. Right? So what's really going to change? What's going to change is what's called on Sundays. Mm-hmm. What's going to change is some of the habits on in practice and throughout the week before the game. What's going to change is situational calls, right? So I think those are the things that we need to be paying attention to going forward, as a gauge for how well Joe Brady is doing. And here's the other thing too that I don't think anybody's really talking about right now. So in what was supposed to be a Super Bowl window, we've gone from a rookie offensive coordinator. I'm sorry, we've gone from a tenured elite level offensive coordinator. We went from that to a rookie offensive coordinator for the sake of quote unquote continuity. Mm-hmm. We fired that guy after a year and a half, which means that was a bad decision. Mm-hmm. Okay, so within the Super Bowl window, we've made a bad decision. After that bad decision, we're bringing in now an offensive coordinator that had worse statistics with his offense in Carolina than what our rookie offensive coordinator has had here in Buffalo.
And the best part about it is he doesn't have any experience in Earnhardt Perkins. He runs an Air Coryell. And what do you know about an Air Coryell? We talked about it way back. Mm-hmm. It's built around speed, all downfield. What do the Bills not have? Speed. DJ Moore in 2020 went for almost 1,200 yards. Robbie Anderson went for almost 1,100 yards. Yeah. Their average yards per reception, 18.1, 11.5. Who on it? Oh, Curtis Samuel was the third. He was the third wide receiver. Yeah. 851 yards. Mm-hmm. Who on our team has speed like that?
Hardy. Sherfield.
They don't see the field.
Right.
That Josh Allen is throwing an out route to a 5'6" guy. Right. He's trying to fit in. Right. Don't make me preach in here today, man.
But he like even before we get to that point, is Sean going to allow the offense to go that way? No. Because he wants to play safe, efficient football on offense.
Right.
But he also wants to score 30. And this is how in the F?
You saved yourself. That's good.
Yeah. How in the world can you as a defensive minded head coach want the offense to play safe and efficient, but you want to score 30 points?
I don't know.
You got to take shots to score 30 points. Did you see what C.J. Stroud was doing against the Bengals?
Oh, yeah.
He had to take shots.
Oh, yeah.
He had 14 big plays in that game. 14.
Was it just 14?
14.
Yeah.
Wait, might have been 17.
I think it was 17. I'm going to say
Okay,
it was
17.
it was 17.
I'm sorry. He's 17. Even better.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't just 14.
Right. 17 big plays in that game against that Lou Anarumo defense. The one that we could barely score against because we want to play safe and efficient offense.
Right.
You can't have it both ways.
Nah.
Either you want the points and you want teams to play you from behind so that your defense can be the reason you win, or you want to play safe and efficient, tight football games where everybody's going to be stressed because you don't know if you're going to be from ahead or behind. Your team does not do well playing from behind. I don't know if you noticed that at all. No. But your team doesn't do well playing from behind. Your defense is not built to be a stalwart, shut you down in the middle of the field type of defense. It's a bend but don't break defense, which means you're going to at least allow the teams to get in field goal position.
Yep.
At the very least.
At the very least.
And you're willing to concede that.
Right. But see, the thing is, oh, you got young buddy. Get me started. I'm not gonna go.
Yes, you are.
No.
Yes, you are.
No.
Yes, you are.
But bend but don't break defense. Everybody told me how long this is gonna be aggressive. They were gonna pin their ears back and gonna make things happen. We were gonna get to the quarterback. Mm-hmm. They told me that it was going to be completely opposite from Frazier. We've been 6 games since we have an interception. 6 games.
Right.
And you know what's funny about that? We've been 6 games with an interception. 6 games. I had to fact check that because I'm like, there's no way the last time we had an interception was the first game in this streak that we got an interception.
Did you hear what Sean Payton said?
No, I didn't hear. What did he say?
He said everything that happened was exactly what they thought would happen. Mm-hmm. They went into the game planning on or counting on they were going to get turnovers from the Bills.
We're going to give it to them.
Most teams now are probably going into the game like that. Like, listen, he going to give us the ball at least once.
I mean, the thing is, okay, if Josh gives you the ball once, I need 2 from you. I need 2 touchdowns from you. I need 3 touchdowns from you. At the very minimum.
I said this on Facebook. The play where Josh overthrew Shakir. Mm-hmm. He broke out to the right, scrambling, and threw the ball down the field. I think it was like 15 yards down the field, overthrew Shakir.
He was wide open too, wasn't he?
He had a guy underneath him, so it was a little bit of a tough throw. But on that play, before you even saw a defender come up, at the point that you saw the defender coming up to get Josh was like pretty much at the sideline. Before that, though, he had one running back in front of him. Is a running back or tight end, maybe, I don't know. There was one offensive guy in front of him that could have blocked for him had he decided to start running, and about maybe 7-8 yards worth of space in front of him. 7-8 yards of space with a blocker, that's an easy 10 yards.
Oh,
easy.
At least.
Right?
At least.
Why we have to ask ourselves, looking at that specific situation, because there's been several situations like that, just like that, really, in every one of these games, even in the wins, where Josh is breaking out to scramble and he's looking to make a pass instead of doing what really breaks the defense down and scrambling, right? Because what we saw in the past years with Josh Allen was when he scrambled, now you're stressing the defense. You're keeping your offense on the field, and you're putting the defense in a position where they're getting tired. They're getting tired of being pushed around. They're getting tired of not knowing what's going to happen, and eventually they break. They break for that big play. They break for that 40-yard throw, that 40-yard touchdown. They break for that. You know what I'm saying? But it's a cumulative effect that happens because Josh is doing what's necessary to keep the offense on the field.
Right.
But if you look at what's been happening this year, it's the exact opposite. He scrambles off to the left or the right, and he's looking to pass the ball, and he's going to pass the ball. That ball is getting thrown.
Yeah, it's getting thrown.
It's one way or another, he's trying to
Yep.
make a play,
Yep.
right? And all of this is because he's being told, protect your body, don't run, don't put yourself in harm's way. Now, I mean, obviously, you want to tell your superstar quarterback, please don't get hurt.
Right.
Right? Try to play within yourself, and don't make a decision that might cost you your health.
Mm-hmm.
How is it that Joe Burrow had more effective scrambles than Josh Allen in that game? How is it that Russell Wilson had more effective scrambles in that game than Josh Allen?
So you telling me that you don't think a 35-year-old quarterback should out-scramble our 28-year-old stallion, 27-year-old stallion? You don't think that
The
Russell
35
Wilson's more superior of a runner than Josh Allen?
The 35-year-old had to lose 15 pounds just to be able to move slower than Josh Allen.
The answer to that is absolutely not.
Right.
Russell Wilson is not more athletic than Josh Allen.
This is incredible.
That's the answer. Absolutely not. This guy who's let's ride. It's this guy. 5'11", 215 pounds doing what he wants on you. When your whole D-line outside of Ed Oliver is 6'5" or better.
Yep.
I thought the whole thing of this D-line was you can't, you take away throwing lanes. I thought it was I can't see over him. I thought I ain't seen nobody have a problem with it.
I'm barely seeing any batted passes.
We had
what happened to that?
2 yesterday, 1.
How many short quarterbacks have we played this year?
Yeah.
Sam Howell ain't a big guy.
He's 6 feet.
Right? Russell Wilson is 5'11".
Yeah. Zach Wilson's what, 6'1", 6'2"?
Yeah, 6'2", I think he is.
6'2"?
Yeah. I mean, so is Aaron Rodgers, but I mean,
but
like,
we won't even count that. I'm sorry, Aaron. Sorry, Aaron. You're technically not on the team.
Yeah.
He said he'd be back next month.
Yeah, he was saying end of December.
We'll see if he has a Devon Miller effect or not. Predict stuff that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I was a low blow, but I don't care.
Somehow, some way, he's gonna be in a Jets uniform. He may not play, but I can see him being in a Jets uniform. Yeah. I
mean, so your point is taken. It's the whole thought process is hacked. I mean, you know what? Let's do this. I don't know if you have more of a point to make on that, but this feeds into. I'm just kind of buying a little bit of time while I look at stuff I wasn't prepared to mention, but now I'm just curious. I am curious now.
What are you looking up? What are you looking up?
I want to see who has the most sacks in the league.
Okay. I'm pretty sure it's Myles Garrett. It's either Myles Garrett or T.J. Watt.
Well, team-wise.
Oh, team-wise.
Yeah. Team defense.
You got it?
Let's see. Well, Minnesota's at 50% blitzes. Baltimore Ravens. Okay. All right. So to make this point, the Baltimore Ravens have the most sacks in the league. Yes, we're still number 2. So the point isn't how many sacks they have, but it's who's getting the sacks.
Okay.
Justin Matabuike?
Yeah, Matabuike.
He's 6'3", 305.
Yep.
Jadeveon Clowney, he has 5.5. He's what, 6'6", 6'5", 6'6"?
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Van Noy, he's 6'3", I'm sorry. Patrick Queen.
I think he's
6 feet.
Yep.
Odafe Owe. Oh, this is my man Jason, the one I wanted. 6'5".
Yep.
Why you change his name to he's going to the Jakumuku route?
Yep.
I see. And Kyle Hamilton is a safety, a 6'4" safety.
And he's a beast, man. I wanted him, man.
Did you?
Yep.
I actually did too. I actually had him in a mock, but I don't even know why I do those things anymore. But the point I'm getting at is, where's their 6'7"s? Where's their booking 6'7" defensive ends? Where's 6'4", 6'8"? Where are these guys that you need all this length for?
Yeah. I
just outlined for you the best defensive line, the best rushing front 7 is made of nobody taller than 6'5", and everybody else is 6'3", 6'2", 6'3". But we had to have these 6'7" and betters. We had to have these long guys. It's more than one way to skin a cat. But that goes into my point again. McDermott only knows how to skin a cat one way.
Right.
And it hasn't worked yet. And it's worked when he had what? He had Greg Hardy. He had what's the boy's name? North Carolina fans. I'm sorry,
Peppers.
Julius Peppers, Hall of Famer. Yeah, it's gonna anything. Peppers could have been 5'11".
I mean,
the point is like, and this is the guy that people are like, oh, he's gonna make a difference. You gonna make a difference? You don't know how to adapt. You don't know how to adapt. Just admit it.
Right.
You've never shown you can.
But that speaks to a lack of creativity, which is something we've already said.
Yep.
You know, when you come up behind a guy like Joe Johnson, he was a zone blitz guy, right? And within that defense, there was enough creativity in key moments for that defense. Now, granted, Joe Johnson had some great players, Brian Dawkins, Jeremiah Trotter, guys like that, right?
Yeah, it wasn't Todd Pinkston and James Thrash.
but yeah, like Sean's mentor had the creativity. I just think it's a situation where the guy himself doesn't really have the creativity. This is a guy that came here to build a culture, thinking that the culture was going to win him games. Not a scheme, not the players, not anything else. He thought the culture was going to be the reason that the franchise became a Super Bowl winning franchise. And forgive me, but when you start off wrong, you're going to end wrong. And I'm not really sure if there was a way to see this from the beginning, but I can say this. The trend when Sean was hired was offensive guys becoming head coaches, younger guys becoming head coaches.
And the crazy part is he's actually young, but he acts old. He's like me.
Yeah.
He's a young old head.
He's very traditional, very old school.
Probably drinks warm milk before bed.
That's probably why he gets along with Pagula so well, and why Pagula loves him.
Yeah, and I'm gonna shamelessly plug another podcaster because I don't know these things, but this guy Zbot, he said on the podcast today where he said Bills fans love Pagula, Sabres fans hate his guts.
Really?
Yeah, Sabres fans hate Pagula.
Why?
He didn't get too far into it, but all he said was they can't stand him.
Really? I mean, I'm starting to see why.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see why. And it's tough, though, because, and I don't want to get too much into Sabres talk, but.
I ain't got that much.
Yeah, maybe I should just stay away.
No, go ahead. I don't have that much for Sabres. Go ahead.
I don't really know too much about what they've done over the last, few years, but I know they got some great players. They made the trade for
you talking about Greenway? Or you talking about Tage Thompson?
Right?
Tuck, Skinner.
Yeah, all those guys. Those are star players. You know what I mean? And all star players.
Uncovered, right? Because they were castaways. Thompson was almost out of the league.
Right. So to get those players and have them come here and have a coach that can bring that out of these guys, to me, as a fan, I would be happy with that. Now, I would also be wondering why the franchise hasn't done whatever it takes to get a goalie in there that is a superstar.
I think it's tough. Honestly, just from what I'm getting, I think it's just tough to do it. I mean, Devin Levi is very promising, and they had Eric Portillo, who decided he didn't want to come to Buffalo after all. He went back to college or whatever. Oh, wow. So he's not coming to Buffalo because of Levi. But then you got, what was it? Craig Anderson last year was like 42 years old, who was retired, who was supposed to be just a vet, like a Von Miller, like a, I don't know, somebody,
Fred Jackson.
Yeah, like a Fred Jackson, if he came back.
Yeah.
Just a locker room mentor who ended up outplaying the guys that were playing ahead of him, so he got the starts.
Wow.
So that's kind of like the back end deal. So I think Levi is actually very promising. He's very good, very good. He's just very young. This is his first full season on the main roster. So, I mean, you look at Rasmus Dahlin, who is probably top 3 in defenseman, and look at me go. I'm talking about
right. I'm like, man, dang, I didn't know you was on it like that.
I mean, I actually before we started, that's what I did on my phone. I had to set the tape the game tonight. But Yeah, I mean, but the thing with Darren Granado is when we get to see when they make the playoffs, because we need to see, is he the guy that's going to get them there and can't get over the hump like McDermott, or is he going to be the guy that's going to adapt to the next phase? Because McDermott, like you said, McDermott be an excellent little league coach.
Yeah.
Excellent character guy.
Excellent college coach.
Yeah, he can't teach you about the fundamentals for nothing. Because this team ain't disciplined. This team ain't. They're not. They're not disciplined. Their attention to detail sucks.
Right.
Outlined by what you said about Dorian Williams and engaging in a block when you're supposed to be spying, whatever. But you're missing tackles at an alarming rate. You're not playing the ball in the air. You're Taron Johnson, who's the second time. That Giants game, the same thing happened. He just didn't get bailed out this time. Right. He ran through the guy. Yep. Anybody tells me he didn't, I don't know what you were watching. Right. I don't know. He was beat and he ran right through the guy. So it's like, okay, but this is all our head coach's unit. Our offense is in a rut, but the defense is decided with the lapses. Mm-hmm. Josh Allen's been throwing an interception. That ain't new.
Right.
I'm fine with that. That ain't new.
The problems the offense has had are not new at all.
They're not new.
Dayball dealt with them. But
we can run now.
Right.
Who knew?
I don't even know if we can say that.
Well, James Cook is more. James Cook gives you more of a versatile element than Devin Singletary and Zach Moss, and that's where I'm going with that.
Right.
So I mean, everybody talks about how good the offensive line is. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. But let me bring this stat up because I didn't know it before you watched it. And you know where I'm going. This is my favorite. Time to throw. These guys had lawn chairs yesterday.
Yeah, they did.
Russell Wilson, 3.97 seconds. Josh Allen, 3.86. Josh Allen average is 2.9.
Boy, that aggressive pass rush did its job yesterday.
You want to know what's funny about it? I'm glad you said it because that was my next point. What would you say is the average time? And it doesn't have to be specific. Average time to sack the quarterback. Get there pretty quick on a blitz, maybe.
Less than 3 seconds.
Right. I'm glad you said it. Less than 3 seconds. Look how long we were averaging per 4 sacks. 4.3 seconds to get to the quarterback.
Jeez.
4.3 seconds to get to the quarterback. Can somebody say coverage sack?
Yeah.
Rousseau got a sack. Coverage sack. Epinesa 1.5.
In my opinion, anytime you get a sack after the tackle has already escorted you way past the quarterback,
and you run right,
and then you run and tackle the quarterback from the back, that's not a real sack.
That's not really
that's
a sack.
coverage sack.
That's a tackle. Yeah,
you didn't beat nobody. You just the tackle decided you were irrelevant now because you're out of the play.
Right. And that's one from a guy who how many interceptions did Russell Wilson throw last night? None. Right. 0. So what does that tell you? I'd rather take the sack than throw a bad pass.
Exactly.
Now, if we go into, I hope it's on this thing. Yeah, big time throws. Josh Allen had 2 big time throws to Russell Wilson's 2. But this is the stat right here. Josh Allen, 2 turnover worthy throws, 2 turnover worthy plays in less than 2 seconds. Less than 2. That's his sweet spot. Throwing the ball under 2.5 seconds. He had 2 turnover worthy plays. Russell Wilson, none. Now, if you go to 2.5 or more, Josh Allen had 8 turnover-worthy plays to Russell Wilson's 9. So the longer Russell Wilson had to think about it, the longer he had to make a mistake, which he didn't yesterday. Josh Allen, on the other hand, 2 of them.
I think this lends to something that I would like to see more of, and I hope that Joe Brady has enough of a backbone to do it.
What's that?
Which is to just and this is one of those things where Josh is just going to have to suck it up. Mm-hmm. But Josh needs to be under center more. The stress that it puts on a defense is that much greater. I was talking to my pops earlier this morning, rather. He called and we talked about the game and I asked him about the difference between what a quarterback goes through and what a defense goes through when the quarterback is in shotgun versus what the defense and the quarterback go through when the quarterback is under center. Mm-hmm. And what he said was, for a defense, the quarterback turns his back to you and you don't know what he's going to do. You don't know if it's a play action. You don't know if he's handing the ball off. You don't know if he's gonna pass it from there. You don't know if he's gonna boot out. You don't know if he's gonna scramble from that. Like there's a level of uncertainty that causes defenders to do one of two things. They either freeze.
In basketball, it's called a triple threat, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
And so with Josh being in a position to put stress on a defense in that way, I think that works more to his benefit. Now, these statistics that you just showed us actually lend to this point where the less time you give Josh to look at the defense, the better he is. The more he is reacting as opposed to thinking, the better he plays, right? And reactions happen when you have less time. When you have more time, you have more time to think. And you can overthink at that same time, right? And so I'll take a step back real quick and go back to what happens in the shotgun. In the shotgun, for a defense, everything is laid out right in front of you. Mm-hmm. As a defensive player, you can see everything unfolding and you can react to it way more efficiently, right? But from a quarterback's perspective, and this is probably why Josh likes the shotgun more, you're seeing the defense from the time you line up to the time you snap the ball.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with, the bigger quarterbacks like to be in a shotgun. The taller ones, the guys that can see over the line because they can see everything, and they just like it. Normally because they're not as fleet of foot. They don't scramble. Mm-hmm. So they like to be back in that situation where they don't have to get into that 7-step drop. They're kind of one step and it's out of there.
Right.
More so for a West Coast offense is the shotgun kind of stance. But yeah, I mean, we were gonna talk about it, and the way you laid it out, I can agree with, because he is statistically better out of the shotgun, but it's so close. Why not just have that element at some point, especially when you're because last night when your run game was working, play action all the way, you freeze that defense all the way.
Yep.
And
his play action numbers from under the center are way better than his play action numbers from out of the shotgun.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because I mean, the odds are they're not fearing a running back, especially a scat back, bless you, from the shotgun, as opposed to where you can hit the line with a head of steam. That's the difference. Once James Cook gets going and then gets the ball, it's a lot different than getting the ball and having to start up and figure out where you're going.
Right. So I want to. Actually, let me ask you this: is there any other area that you're burning on right now that you want to get to?
Man, let me see.
I mean, we got time. Go for it.
Yeah, we got time.
Because I was gonna say there's something else that I'm burning on, not really associated with the game last night, but since we're on the game last night, let's finish that.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. Okay, this is my question. And I know your answer. I just want to hear you lay it out.
Okay.
Who fired Sean McDermott?
Sean McDermott.
Right.
So he fires himself.
That's the thing. So
no, it's Pagula. It has to be
Pagula.
Yeah.
It's not the GM.
Yeah.
Because the head coach can fire the GM.
Right.
Look at your hierarchy. I mean, everybody says, well, can we trust Bean? Can we trust if we got rid of McDermott? Is Bean worth keeping?
Well, yeah, I do think he is. I think his talent evaluation and his ability to make trades and his signings have been the best they could be, with the factor coming into play of Sean picking the players, right? So I think from that perspective, I would absolutely keep Bean. But from a social perspective, it would be a stab in the back to Sean if Pagula fired Sean but kept Bean. And the same could be said for Bean if he didn't stand up for the guy that hired him and walk off.
My thing to that, like you just said, is do I care if I'm stabbing you in the back? If you screwed me over, if you called me and said you on board, what do you say? You said, are you still good?
Are you all in?
Are you all in?
Yeah.
Don't call me with that BS.
Well, that's almost exactly what Bean said.
I just got finished watching film. It's 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't answer the phone till afternoon. Don't call me with that BS. Don't ever ask me that question again. Am I all in? Right. And at that point, The loyalty, no, this is a business.
Oh yeah.
This is at that point you gonna ask me that nonsense when I should be asking you, are you all in?
Yeah. Yeah, because it seems more like you playing to your own tune.
Yeah, to come to Jesus should have been between them two.
Yeah.
Because, are they on one accord? I don't know. I mean, I agree with you. I would love to see what Bean could do in 2025 when we have 71 million. I would love to see it. But McDermott can't be here. And I tweeted this out, and I wish I could remember what I said exactly, but there was something to the point of McDermott's going after 25. Because Pagula is what? He's a businessman first.
Okay.
Pagula's does not want to hurt his bottom line when that stadium opens up.
Ooh, that's a great point. That is a great point. And for people like Capaccio, who's saying, well, I can't see Pagula firing Sean. I can't see it. From what I know, I can't see it. Okay, well, I mean, people are walking out of the stadiums.
Yeah.
People are, ticket sales the ticket prices are low.
Astronomical. They're going to go astronomically. And it's perfectly aligned with the salary cap because, like I said, 2026 is the stadium opening. 2025 is when we have a robust salary cap.
And that's how you set up for that stadium.
That's when you get
and sell them season tickets.
Whoever the 2025 Devontae Adams is.
Yeah.
When you get that, whoever 2025 Miles Jack is, or not Miles Jack, Myles Garrett is.
Yep.
That's when you pull those guys and you get one or two of those guys. You get you a stud linebacker. You get you a stud receiver.
Now everybody excited.
We rocking. A cornerback that gets interceptions. Rasul Douglas is the only dude out there trying to take the ball away last night.
Yeah. Yeah.
What'd that tell you?
I mean, Poyer on a few late tries.
Yeah, I mean, but that's Poyer. I mean, I don't, I don't mean to egg on Poyer because that's just what he does. In my mind, he's getting older. He's not as effective as he was, but that's still his mentality. He hasn't changed.
Yeah. And
before we go on to the next, we're not done yet, guys. You might be done with us, but I'm not done with you. What do you think about the revelation of Gabe Davis declining all interviews at his locker after the game yesterday? Mr. Captain, nah, I'm not talking on it.
I would be interested to know how he got the C in the first place. They handed a lot of C's out this season, and Gabe Davis getting one doesn't seem like something that would normally happen in any other season. And it didn't happen in any other season. I mean, if he didn't get the captain C after the game he played in Kansas City in 13 seconds game, when was
you
was
get
he
in your contract season?
Yeah, exactly.
We don't need you at this point. Just finish your. I mean, I'm saying just finish out your contract. You know, earn whatever you can earn in the process. We'll get to the playoffs and we'll probably make amicably. Right. But yeah, how many votes did McDermott have?
How many what?
How many votes did McDermott have in this thing?
Exactly. That's what I want to know. And those things can be doctored anyway. So.
There was no precedent for him to get to C. He was not expecting to see.
Right.
So, I mean, you got James Cook. What do you say to Matt? What do you say to Matt Perino? How do you word it? Perino walked to his locker. He said,
"Oh,
he's like, nah, I'm good." Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Like, nah, fam, I'm good. I'm good.
I get it. Here's the thing.
Oh, I get it. But
if you've already had two players only meetings, and you see how your coach handled the end of that game, and it was his unit. Like, I know the players on offense gotta be thinking that
James Cook just got benched. What am I going to say to you? Don't ask me nothing because I know where you want to go with this.
Exactly. He knew those were going to be the questions coming. But what I'm saying is the thought process in his mind is,
right.
You're not about to come over here and ask me questions about these fumbles when we went down and scored that touchdown at the end of the game, and I was the reason we did it.
I had 102 yards for no reason.
They rode my back all the way down to get Josh in a position to go scrambling and score that touchdown, right? So don't come over here asking me about that. At the end of the day, we did our job. It was the head coach's boys over on the defensive side that didn't get it done.
Right. Yep.
I get it.
Go talk to them.
I could side with him on that.
And And Josh said after last game, he said we're not going to the locker room. What did he say? We're not going to let this divide us. Who's the divide? Who's the divide?
You know what was really telling was when Mitch Morse came out with Josh to protect him, basically.
Oh yeah.
But one of the things that Mitch Morse kept saying is, we just got to stay together. We just got to stay together.
Yep.
And my theory is this: hearing him talk, part of it was him saying to Josh, "Don't throw the coach under the bus."
Oh, is that why? Man, I'm about to bomb on this cat. I'm about to let him have it.
Right. And I think the other part of that was Mitch sending a message to the team. Regardless of what this coaching staff is doing to us, we got to stay together and try to work this out as best we can.
You mean like a captain?
Like a captain.
Like a captain. Wow. Is that what they do? Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's what it looks like.
That's
bro.
crazy.
They come out and
I ain't
protect
seen one of them
players
before.
in the press conferences.
I ain't seen one of them.
You know, they say things to motivate other players.
They do from time to time.
You know, I mean, I don't want to sit here and say that, you know, Josh has never said anything to anybody. Maybe he does it, you know, in the privacy of the locker room.
Yeah, I'm not searching for it. I really could care less. But
right.
You know, when I see him sitting there, and who is Josh going to ignore now with the tablet when Joe Brady's up in the booth?
Who's what?
Who is Josh going to ignore now with the tablet when Joe Brady's up in the booth now?
You think Joe Brady's going to be up in the booth?
Josh be like, this with his tablet, man, get away. Let me see what's going on here. Okay, I'm gonna throw over there next time. That's Josh. You know, usually you see the in college they get the phone still, or they get the tablet, they get the paperwork, whatever the case may be, the analytics. But nah, you just see Josh just in his own little headspace. Maybe he's got Sinatra. And Sal Capaccio said this. No, Z-Bot said it. Mm-hmm. One of them guys said it. He said, "What did Josh Allen always listen to before games?" Frank Sinatra. What's Frank Sinatra's major hit? Not Mac the Knife, not none of that.
So I did it my way?
I did it my way.
Yeah.
And is Josh saying, I'm going to do it my way?
Yeah.
But he's not on the field. He's like that. You know what Josh is to me? Remember when you used to get that whooping and you got sent to your room? Mm-hmm. You and that man behind, man, next time, I swear to God, whoa, next time they bomb, I'm about to, your mom, it's time for dinner. Yes, Mom. And you go down there with your tail between your legs. Yes, Mom.
Oh, yeah, you one of those. Yeah.
You and that bad boy, man, I'm going to steal on this cat next time he say something. I pray to God he says something stupid to me, I'm going to jump on him. Joshua, okay. That's Josh to me. But see, that's why I say everybody that's great is not a leader. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Josh can't ball, because we all know Josh can ball. Mm-hmm. But maybe that's where it ends. Maybe Josh can ball. He's a C because he's a $258 million quarterback. Right. That's like a requisite to the job.
Right.
You can't get that money if you ain't got the C.
All right, here's your money, sir. And
right, and here's your C.
Right on your.
Need you to fix that to your jersey. Make sure it's clean and pressed.
What is this? Oh, it's a captaincy. It comes with the money.
When you sign, you didn't read the small print. Yeah, right. It was on the back. But you know, going back to, I know you. Screw time. Let's see. What else do I have? It seems like people are starting to come around to McDermott talk on the basis of what I said before. This is as far as McDermott can take them. Mm-hmm. Ooh, this is it. This is it. Just call a spade. Right. You're done. Look at his blunders. I can remember them all. These are the ones that came out the top of my head when I was driving it. I don't text and drive. I take notes and drive. Okay. Different.
Okay.
12 men on the field.
Yeah.
13 seconds. The squib. The London travel plans.
Yes.
Mismanagement of Vine. No, I'm not still salty about the wings. I got some wings twice from Wegmans. Excellent wings.
Wegmans do got some good wings.
They got some bangers, though. I ain't going to lie to you. I ain't going to hold you. There's something about them. But the thing is, like, who do you listen to? Because you said in the last press conference, I don't want to get into I can't give you the medical analysis. If you want that, talk to the trainers. Are you going to release them? Are you going to gag order them too?
Right.
I mean, when's the last time we heard? I was just thinking before the last game. When's the last time Deion Dawkins said anything worth listening to? He talked yesterday, but he says the same thing more or less.
Yeah.
You know, it's just. I need those Stephon Diggs. I need those James Cooks. I need even those Gabe Davis moments. Nah, everything ain't sweet.
I mean, we got people on Facebook. Somebody just mentioned me in the comment saying that Stephon Diggs wasn't a Pro Bowler before he got here.
I know who that was.
Yeah.
I know exactly who that was. But I outlined it before I came in. Once again, not texting and driving. Steph Diggs went for 1,000 yards to 2 years before he came to Buffalo.
100%.
Steph Diggs, I believe he had 6 touchdowns the year before he came to Buffalo, 8 the year before that.
He also had the miracle in Minnesota.
He had the catch already.
Yep.
And he had 9 touchdowns 3 years removed from coming to Buffalo.
And he did all this opposite Adam Thielen.
As the number 2.
Right.
With Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
With commercials.
Yeah. He was a star.
He was already that guy.
Even if he hadn't made a Pro Bowl, he was a star.
He was already that guy.
Right.
I mean, let me see. You know, and I wasn't prepared to pull this up, but I'm glad you're watching.
No, he put that on Facebook. I don't know if he's watching, but
okay. All right. He's watching.
Okay.
He's watching. He's watching because I'm gonna hear about it later.
Okay.
Let's see. That was what we're gonna do, and this is off the cuff, so don't kill me. But
I'm not Sean.
20 what? Let's see. He came in 2020, 2017. NFL.
Oh, you trying to see who made the Pro Bowl that year?
Yeah. So let's see. Okay, 2017. Wait, was it? Did they have a link for? They do. Yes, I can. Yes, even better. Okay, so they had Julio Jones,
okay.
Michael Thomas, Adam Thielen.
It's to be expected. A.J. Green, T.Y. Hilton, Larry Fitzgerald, Devontae Adams, Jarvis Landry.
So, out of that list,
those are not NFC. My bad.
Doug Baldwin. Out of that list, yes, he didn't make it. Doug Baldwin, 991 yards. This is 2017.
But I mean, Thielen was just a target monster.
That's it. He was like he
was the underneath guy in that offense.
Yeah. So let's fast forward once again. 2018. Michael Thomas, Julio Jones, Amari Cooper, Devontae Adams, Adam Thielen, Mike Evans. What's the problem with that? You come to 2019, and I know I'm long-winded here, but I'm trying to prove a point.
Yeah.
Oh, look who made the Pro Bowl in 2019
as a rookie.
That was his only year being good. Deontay Hardy,
yep.
Michael Thomas, Cordarrelle Patterson, Julio Jones, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Amari Cooper, Kenny Galladay, and Devontae Adams. What did they all have? Better quarterbacks than Kirk Cousins. And which one of these guys, not named Deontay Hardy, was the number 2? This guy, Cordarrelle Patterson, made it based on special teams.
Yeah, right. But every other one of those guys was the number 1 on their team.
They're the number 1s.
Right.
And they all went for, let's see, Michael Thomas went for almost 1,800 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you would have flipped into the AFC, I bet you would have made it.
Oh, yeah. Over Matthew Slater. Well, yeah. Matthew Slater's a return.
Well, he was a returner, but you got to look at their numbers. Let's see real quick.
Keenan Allen.
Yeah, he was up there with DeAndre Hopkins.
Andre Roberts from the Buffalo Bills.
Special team. I can't believe he made it.
Special team.
How many alternates they have to go to get to him?
Cortland Sutton. People forget he was nasty.
He was actually really good
with Peyton Manning.
Yeah, he was actually really good.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's apples and it's not apples and oranges. Yeah, he didn't make it. But the thing is, once he came to the AFC, he had him on the chokehold.
Right.
Yeah, okay, Josh Allen. But no, as much as I hate that little weasel, I'm sorry, Steph. Get your family in them. As much as I hate your little brother at this point.
Oh, Trayvon. Okay.
Just know, Josh Allen wasn't Josh Allen until Steph came.
No doubt.
2019, people were starting to look at the quarterbacks in the draft again. because they're like, it's getting to the contract, and I'm not seeing enough. I can't give him that money.
Yep.
Steph comes, guess what? Josh Allen looks like the guy. Like, oh snap, Mahomes got a new opponent.
Listen, statistically, if my phone will load up,
if it's all out,
I have to. Yeah.
Why you do that? I don't want to park it, but I want to mention it just to let you do it. Remember 2020, a certain offensive lineman that you're like this certain offensive lineman who re-signed and then asked for release weeks later.
What's his name?
Right,
you got it.
Quentin
Spain, that's right.
He tweeted out on his release. This is how we knew he got released. Only if they knew the real reason. But I'm going to leave it at that.
The real reason he quit?
Yeah. Only if you knew the real reason, but I'm going to leave it at that.
Only if who knew the real reason? Us?
Bills fans. And this is what...
Do we know why he left? I got to find that out.
He never said it. But this is what it is what you've been alluding to. The actual stuff we don't see.
Yeah.
It's all fine and dandy what you see, what they let you know, because they're excellent PR people.
Oh yeah, 100%. Their marketing team here is masterful.
They're excellent. McDermott, excellent PR.
Yeah.
Process. Trust the process. I still don't know the process, but there's still people out there trusting it.
Josh Allen from 2018 to 2019 doubled his touchdowns from 10 to 20, and dropped his interceptions by 3 from 12 to 9. Mm-hmm. In 2020, which was his best year, he upped his touchdowns by 17, and his interceptions only went up by 1. Mm-hmm. His QB rating went up from 85.3 to 107.2. The kid became elite.
Massive.
And it started when Diggs got here.
Yep. Because you got to remember, we already had John Brown.
We already had Beasley. Not Welker, Beasley, yeah.
There's one addition to that offense. Just one.
Yep.
Mr. Diggs.
Right. And people are saying, okay, well, 2019, Diggs didn't get here till 2020. So 2019 is when he had John Brown and Beasley. Mm-hmm. Okay, 3,000 yards. And I think I commented on this on Facebook too. It's cool to have 3,000 yards and 20 touchdowns and 9 interceptions.
That's like average, though.
If this was 1998.
I'm saying that's like average.
Right. In today's NFL, that is very average. Mm-hmm. If you want to be considered elite or Pro Bowl level, you got to at least be hitting 4,000 yards.
Yeah.
Josh didn't hit that until
somebody got here.
Right. So for whoever wants to try and combat that, I mean, the numbers bear it out. The numbers bear it out. I don't think there's any way around that.
No.
But
I mean, like I said, I'm not sitting here saying Josh Allen sucks. I don't think that came out of my mouth at all.
No.
But what I am saying is that there's an era around the building that we've arrived. But in order to get to the next level, we got to bring somebody in who has been there 5 years ago. Somebody who has been there, when they were in their prime, and they're in year 15 now.
Right.
It's not going to work.
Yeah, and I think what you're really trying to say is we need a guy that brings a scheme here, that knows how to put players in the right positions to make plays that impact the game heavily, right? This is something that I'm gonna just bring it up now. I've been kind of burning on this, and when the topic of calibration first came up, I was kind of thrown off because I didn't really understand it, and the more I learned about it, the more I watched it, I began to understand, and something about it just didn't sit right, right? So I went and talked to my pops because he played in the league, and he knows how it goes, right? And so what he said was, let me back up. Let me describe, or let me explain calibration, okay? football analysts that are watching the All 22 and you know, they're putting out all these videos about Josh Allen are now hopping onto this wave called calibration, which is the decision-making process or the weighing of risk-benefit before the throw. Okay, so if the ball is snapped and I'm going through my reads and I want to throw this out route, this 10-yard out route, before I throw the ball, I have to weigh the risk-benefit of throwing this ball. Mm-hmm. And in that split second of coming to that conclusion, I then either have the choice of throwing the ball there or looking somewhere else to throw the ball. Okay? Now, what was explained to me was this is total BS. It wasn't said like that, but this is something that I kind of had a feeling about, and after hearing how it really goes in the NFL when the ball is snapped, this is crap. The thought that a quarterback has enough time to go through all of that, weighing the risk-benefit of this throw, weighing the risk-benefit of that throw, weighing the risk-benefit of that throw, as he's going through his progressions, there's not enough time for that, right? What was explained to me was players know, quarterbacks know, wide receivers know. They look at the defense that they got. Oh, the ball's coming to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah,
quarterbacks,
absolutely.
they look at the defense, they think, oh, I'm going to Diggs.
Absolutely.
Easily, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the challenge comes after the ball is snapped,
mm-hmm.
right? Because as we see, you got 3 to 4 seconds to make your decision, get the ball out before you get hit. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, the speed of the game at the NFL level, right? What was told to me was there's even a difference from the stands to the sideline. Mm-hmm. You could be sitting at the 50-yard line, mm-hmm. and the game might seem fast, but you go on that sideline, it's even faster. Mm-hmm. You go on the field, it's even faster. Mm-hmm. Okay? We're talking about literally seconds to get the ball out. 3, 4 at the most if you got a great offensive line and you got a great play call versus a bad defensive play call.
Right.
Okay? We want the quarterback to look at each route, each read, and say, is this a good throw right now? I'll come back to that. Is this a good throw right now? I'll come back to that. Is this a good throw right now? I'll come back to that. Right. Is this a good throw? Okay. After analyzing the cost benefit analysis in all these different reads that I'm seeing here, all 4 of these reads, based on this information, I think I'm going to go to my number 2 option. There's not enough time for all of that.
Right.
You got to get the ball out. Yeah. And one of the things that we've seen Josh do is he'll make his mind up pre-snap and just go there. Mm-hmm. Now, he's gotten better at post-snap reads and stuff like that, but ultimately, he's at a point now where he has a pretty good general idea of what the defense is trying to do game plan-wise during the game, and what the defense, based on how they're lined up, is more likely to try and do once the ball is snapped.
Yeah, I mean, I take it back to, I don't know if you ever saw the basketball movie with Will Ferrell, Semi-Pro. Mm-hmm. You know, it was a joke, but it really is how it goes. You know, he was in the post, and he was like, right here, I like it, and I don't like it, pass it right back. All right, I'm set, give it back. That's how your mind is. It's like, I'm not thinking about it. You're supposed to be doing it without thinking. Right. And that's why they say people like Jameis have a slow processor. They said, who was it that had slow eyes? EJ Manuel, slow eyes, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it exists. Slow eyes does exist. And that's why,
because they're trying to think it through first.
Right. When you don't allow your guy to play,
right, that's
what happens. And that's what we saw with EJ's. And no, okay, EJ was probably never going to be a starting quarterback in the league. But that's when you see guys like that, when you don't let guys like Jameis Winston in the year we were talking about, 2019, 5,100 yards, 33 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. They went 7-9, but 5,109 yards. Josh Allen was 23rd. I was running it while you were talking. 23rd with 3,000 yards.
Jeez.
He was bottom third of the league.
Right.
And this is the argument. Look at number 19. Kyle Allen. Kyle Allen beat Josh Allen that year. Okay? So let's just not do this.
Oh no! This is why they brought him here. They look back at this. What year is this?
2019.
They look back at 2019. So you know
From
what,
Carolina.
that was pretty good about 4 years ago.
From Carolina. Yep.
Jeez.
So so you're right. I mean, that's that calibration, and that's something that goes from what film study. Because when you see it on the film a million times, and you go out to the field, I've seen this before.
Yeah,
I know what he's going to do, and that's why you see, like you said, Russell Wilson, he gets sacked in 4.5 seconds, because what I saw on the tape isn't what I actually did.
Right.
But the Bills don't do any of that on defense. We don't simulate pressures. We don't switch it up. We just pin our ears back and go.
I meant to bring this up. They did a stunt. Did you see it?
I didn't see the stunt. Who was it? Ed Oliver?
They did a stunt. Yeah. I think it was Ed Oliver.
Actually, yes, I did see it. I did see it.
They did one. I didn't see any other ones. Nope. I saw the one though.
That stood up to me. I saw it. That was they got the sack, didn't they? Was that the one that they sacked?
They got great pressure with it.
Yeah.
They got great pressure.
Yeah, it was Oliver because he busted right through there.
Yeah.
Yep.
They got great pressure with it.
Hallelujah.
You're right.
Hallelujah.
About to start running around the sanctuary. Right.
Start having testimonials up here.
Producer already excited. He's standing up. He ready to run.
He about to start. He going free run in a minute. He about to take off.
You dancing. The dance.
But the thing is, this is the thing. When Steph Diggs came in 2020, Josh Allen went from 23rd to 5th.
Mm-hmm.
To 5th. So what's going to get Josh Allen from, what is the highest he's been? Because that's got to be it. He peaked at 5. He had to have.
Yeah, he had more touchdowns the next season.
See, he moved down to 8th in 2021. And in 2022, he was 7th. And this year, yeah, he's believe it or not,
wow, he's 4.
Josh Allen is more or less on pace to have the same season he had in 20. Now we have an extra game.
For sure, more interceptions.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna do that. Right. He's already done it, hasn't he?
Let
me see. I can just scroll back.
He's already got one more than his best season.
Yep. So, I mean, everything else checks out. Even his rushing, because he didn't rush as much as people think he did in 2020. I think he only rushed
That's a great point.
Yeah, he only rushed for 400, almost 500 yards, almost.
Right.
He's at 200 now. 200 and change. But I'm going to tell you right now. Just give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen's rushing.
Right there.
2020, he ran for 421 yards. 2021, he ran for 763. 2022, 762. This year, 246. He's more than halfway there.
Wow, he's already got the same touchdown total.
Yeah, already halfway there.
Wow.
So, is he being neutered? Is he? I mean, probably because they could use him to run a little more this year. But we don't need him to run that 763 or 700. That's what James Cook and throw the little dump offs. But that was something that they brought up on the Bills fanatics as well. Josh Allen can't throw the flat. He doesn't throw screens because he's going to take somebody's freaking hand off. Yeah, they said wide receivers on the Bills have talked about how their hands are black and blue after games. They said they have black and blue hands after games.
Wow. So
when I was talking to my friend, which I'm not even going to get into, the razzing we do with each other, because that's not the point. In the Bengals game where Gabe Davis had the fade route, bounce off his hands, it had no air under it. It wasn't in a bucket. He reached up and went through his hand. That's not supposed to happen on a fade route. That's not how it goes. It don't bullet a fade route.
Gabe Davis looking like,
right, fam.
Not this.
In the bucket.
Get a little arc in there.
I'm 6'3". I mean, the ball that he missed yesterday, okay, probably should have caught it, but did you have to throw it that hard? Did you have to put it? Davis was like, what? The way it still had pepper on it?
I thought I had it.
He's like, I'm 20 yards downfield. How'd that still have pepper on it?
Well, here's, and I guess if there was an open criticism of Josh Allen, it would be, he's not an anticipatory thrower.
Mm-hmm.
He is as soon as I see a guy come open, I'm throwing it in there. Right? He's a reactionary thrower from that standpoint, where he's not reading the routes and anticipating where those receivers will be. He's just kind of looking for the guy that is currently open and then gunning it there.
Yep.
So
yeah, you're right.
If you play like that, you're gonna be gunning it around the yard because it's just
you're late.
react. It's just
you're late.
boom, okay,
yeah.
pow.
Wow, there he is. You're late.
But again, he's been like this since day one,
and we understood it. We accepted it.
And if you know that,
right,
go get receivers with hands that can handle that, because it looked like Kincaid is doing just fine.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, we're one of the lowest. Believe it or not, everybody that hates on Dawson Knox, we're one of the lowest teams in drops. We are. We're one of the lowest teams in drops in the league.
Well, that's a part of that is because we're running some of the most shallowest routes in the league too.
But yeah, that's even worse because, like we just said, your man takes nothing off the ball. He throws it through your chest.
Yeah, that's true too.
It's not really. But the thing is, like,
they better start body catching. I'll take it in my arm and let my bicep carry that.
It's like Lil Giants where the dude got hit and he got hit so hard he was talking out of his butt. But yeah, I mean, if you look at every kind of stat, Josh Allen is being pressured at an all-time low this year.
Okay, I mean this is the best offensive line play he's had in 7 years, 6 years.
No, yeah. But what I'm saying is, he doesn't have. All he has to do now is be a quarterback. He's sacked. Look at his numbers of sacks. We're halfway through the season, and he's got half of what he had in 16 games. He's got 13 sacks this year. He had 26 in 20 and 21, 33 last year, 38 in 2019, 28 in 2018. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's upright. He's good.
I will say this, and I know it kind of seems like I might be like teetering back and forth. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm as objective as possible.
No, you got to.
Right, but if I'm looking at that and hearing you talk about it, the first thought that came to my mind was, okay, well, his receivers aren't running the same routes that they ran last 4 years, right? They're running very different routes. Like I said before, everything is kind of shallow now. Are these receivers the best options for this type of offense? Because nobody's getting separation anymore. Right? And if nobody's getting separation, in Josh's mind, nobody's open.
Right.
That was one of the reasons why Kelvin Benjamin didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
He was huge, and technically he should have always been open. But in Josh's mind, if you ain't separating, you ain't open.
That's why Zay Flowers would have been a huge pick. That's why Jordan Addison would have been a huge hit.
Yeah. Both of them killing it this year.
I mean, they're doing their thing. Tank Dill.
Yep.
Because that's definitely, I think Addison went after our pick, and so did Tank Dill. Flowers went before us. But even still, you look at the guys that were available to you, and you say, nah, I already know who I'm taking.
Right.
And that's when they panic in the draft, when the person they know who they want is gone. They can't pivot. They can't pivot anywhere.
And that's funny. That's so funny. The same way they are in games is how they are in the draft. I mean, this has to be a clear indicator that there is a singular mindset in every instance of how this team operates.
Right.
If they operate the same way in game that they do in the draft, there's not enough creativity or enough ability to pivot in the moment and make a decision that still benefits you. I don't know how that doesn't point to Sean the most, because he's the only person that's in both worlds.
Yeah.
If he's the person that hired the GM and he's the person that hired everybody else on this team, then at the end of every argument, at the end of the day, everything is his responsibility.
Right.
In the same way that everything is Pagula's responsibility.
Yep.
That's the bottom line of it. We can sit here and we can blame Josh. We can sit here and we can blame Ken Dorsey. We can sit here and blame Joe Brady when that doesn't work out. We can sit here and blame Eric Washington for not being a good assistant head coach. We can sit here and blame...
You can blame me for something. I don't know.
Right. But at the end of the day, the people who are solely responsible are the people who started it.
Yep.
Ain't no way around that.
Nope. I mean, it really isn't. It really isn't. Let's see, what else do we have? I told you I had a couple of things, man.
Yeah, come on.
I had a couple of things. Let's see.
Man, we pushing 2 hours. This is great.
This is therapy. You guys can take a bit. You can take whatever you like from it. Let's see. Like you just said, scheming guys open. It took my thunder, like they said on 550. Mm-hmm. You stole my thunder.
Oh, my bad.
Nah, you're good. Scheming guys open. I challenge anybody to watch the All 22 and tell me no one's ever open before Allen throws the ball. Everybody's like, oh, he's open because Allen already threw the ball. Go watch the tape. Allen still has the ball in his hands when certain. I mean, he's not going to see everybody on the field. I get it. Mm-hmm. But there's trends. We're in week 10, week 11. You know James Cook is open right there. He's always open right there. You know Dalton Kincaid can sit down. You know Gabe Davis sits down. You know where these guys are. You've seen so much film. Stop. Stop it. Just stop. That's what. And the thing is that people always. Well, the ball was out. Well, that wasn't his read. Okay, but when is it his read? What tendencies do you have? It's got to be a read at some point, I would think. And statistically, offensively, let's see. I found this interesting. If you look at the Bills' 2023 season, they're better in the first half than they are in the second half, offensively. They're better in the first half than they are in the second half.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's marginal.
Offensively or defensively?
Offensively.
Really?
Yeah.
How come they ain't scoring no points? Or is that just because of those 3 blowout games that we had? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Statistically, it is that. But what it is when you got to have a knockdown drag out, they're not up for the task. You're 2-5 in the AFC. I mean, forget about it. Forget oy vey. You didn't win in your division, in your conference. Mm-hmm. You got a division game coming up on Sunday. Anybody want to bet that we're going to win that one?
Against
the Jets.
Yeah, no. I mean, if you think about it like this offense is performing just like it did in that game, in that first game against the Jets, right? On top of that, Zach Wilson didn't expect to be the guy going into that game.
Not at all.
He's had 7 games to play since that point.
Did you see? I read somewhere that Garrett Wilson was almost in tears talking about he can't play in the Zach Wilson offense anymore. This is what he said.
Wow, it's really that bad?
I mean, I swear Conklin knocked the ball out of his hands on that play. I swear that was the tight end, not Zach Wilson throwing that, But whatever, what do I know?
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of that is we don't want Aaron Rodgers to feel challenged. We're not going to do anything that makes him feel threatened about losing his position or anything like that. I think all of that is motivated by Aaron Rodgers and protecting him in his confidence or honor or however you want to say
right.
it. But
I must have been angry yesterday. Look what I put here. I ain't gonna say this on the air. This is just a candid note. Yo, I'll be going crazy in my notes. Y'all will never see this stuff.
So he wrote down how does the vaunted defense let the Broncos stroll right down the field, miss me with that BS.
And I didn't just use 2 letters.
No, he did not. but that's absolutely right, and it spits in the face of what Sean McDermott was trying to say in the postgame, which was he thought the defense did enough to win. He thought the defense did a great job considering they were down 5 starters. You
want to read the next line too? Because
I cannot factor in the injuries. I'm effing tired of that excuse.
These notes, these is R-rated notes.
You're right, but it's all like I need you to send me these after we're done because this is like extra content I could be concerned.
I got you. It's actually on here, but McDermott says that I think he said it numerous times. We were missing 5 guys on defense last night or today when he
Yep.
Isn't it your unit?
Yeah.
Didn't you have not 1 week, not 2 weeks, not 3 weeks to figure out how to play with these new guys you have? Yeah. There's nobody missing this week. You got Terrell Bernard back. There's nobody missing this week that wasn't missing last week. Micah Hyde, he was out already. But the point still remains. There's no catastrophic injury that you didn't have time to adjust for.
Right.
Every time they talk about we got to install it, what film are you watching? What adjustments are you making based on the film that you're so-called watching? I think he's watching the Care Bears or something. Dude, I mean, I got to watch the tape. Is he talking about masking tape? Duct tape.
He's talking about the all 22. He's got to wait until.
Is he sure he's watching the Bills one?
He might be watching the tape from 2022.
Yeah. His adjustments are. I mean, oh God. Oh, did you hear it on the broadcast last night? The people might have known this. Well, obviously you guys watched the game, so you know. Ed Oliver's got a $500,000 bonus if he gets 8 sacks.
I heard about that yesterday.
Yeah, evidently Ed Oliver's just telling people, so whatever. I mean,
what was funny about that is, as you say that, I think about the moment in the game where he's got a wide open shot at Russell Wilson and just whiffs. He was like, right. No, there's my million. No.
So close. Got to do it again.
Right. Now I got to work that much harder the next game, and I might not even get that close.
He
had a shot right there. The money was in hand. Oh, my God.
But in my next one, I can read this because I'm not going to curse in this, I don't think. Okay. McD still gets love. This is what he wants, y'all. He's building so much insulation and so many outs, it's not even funny. The defense is healthy. He looks sick with more talent. Okay, so when he has his starters, yeah, he looks great because he handpicked and built this defense. But when injuries hit, Frazier had what? No Trey, no Vine, no Poyer, no Hyde, no Hamlin, no Jackson, no Benford, no Phillips. I'm probably missing somebody else.
Right.
I didn't even say – oh, yeah, I did say Trey. But – what did we do last year? We were still a top 10 defense.
Yeah.
We weren't exciting to watch, but we got the job done.
Right.
Now we're going to be aggressive. We're going to be exciting. We're going to pin our head. As soon as you lose 5 guys.
Well, think about it like this, too. Even in the Bengals game in the playoffs last year, the defense wasn't the reason we lost that game.
I know.
Like, yeah, they ran on us. Yeah, they kind of did whatever they want. But ultimately, the offense can't score.
They did 10 points.
Right.
We only gave up 27 points.
Right. And it's funny you say it that way because people hear only 27 points. Well, yeah, compared to how the Bills have been used to scoring, it's only 27 points. Mm-hmm. Right? So, you know,
Didn't you just say earlier McDermott wanted to score 30 points a game? Somehow.
I ended up going on a rant, and I think I almost broke the microphone, or I think that might have been when the laptop cut off or something like that.
It was.
Yeah, but it just even that it just baffles me. I don't understand what the media is seeing. I don't understand what they're hearing. I'm gonna just be concise because you said say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest. This is the moral of the show. The theme
How
of the show.
in the world does Sal Capaccio still have listeners at this point when all that man does is hug the butt of Sean McDermott to protect the belt that should be getting him? How? I don't. Every single time I turn that man on, I'm hoping I hear something different, and I never do. Ever since he got that job on the sideline, it has been Smooch City for the cheeks of Sean McDermott.
I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for Smooch.
That's what it is. I'm sorry, but I gotta call it like I see it.
Say it with your chest.
You know what I'm saying? But it gets old because Sal is not the only one. Right? There's a lot of people in that field that are scared to death to really say what they think or really say what they see because they don't want to get blackballed by the team.
Yep.
Guess what? I'm not calling them for interviews. I got sources. I can get information. I could care less about whether or not the Bills try to get me canceled or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Somebody got to be saying this stuff out here.
Yep.
Somebody's got to do it. Right? But how in the world can you say, I want this team to play efficient, I want this team to score points? Those two things aren't the same.
Together. They don't go together.
They're not the same. In order to, if the focus is scoring points, and I said this before earlier on the show, so for those of you just tuning in order to score points, you have to take chances. Mm-hmm. Okay? I don't. when we're talking about an efficient offense, we're talking about more West Coast. We're talking about more run game, right? Efficiency means less risk.
Yep.
The only time the ball is at risk is when you're throwing it.
Yep.
So if you want more efficiency, you want shorter throws and more runs. That's really what we're talking about if we breaking the language down and getting into exactly what was said.
Yep.
Sean McDermott is a defensive-minded head coach. So what he's saying is lining up with his philosophical standpoint and his professional standpoint on football games. How do we not see this as a problem? How do we think I'll say it again, because I said this before several times. No defensive head coach has won a Super Bowl in the last 10 years without the greatest of all times in Tom Brady on his team. Not one. Not one. And I'm pretty sure that if we went back further than that, Tony Dungy might be the only other one. But he had freaking Peyton Manning.
Oh, wait a minute. I just thought about it. Well, I didn't think about it. I just came across it while I was scrolling while you're talking. Look at this. We're the second worst team in the league in third downs. Defensive third downs.
Sean McDermott. I want to try this exercise real quick, right? So I want to go through. I looked up the run defense stats for every team in the NFL. Okay, and then what I did is I'm starting to go, first to last, right? So number one in run defense is the Eagles this year. They're on the schedule.
You mean a team with two defensive tackles, rookie and second year man at defensive tackle?
They got like 15 defensive tackles.
Yeah,
and they all get sacks.
Yep.
It's unbelievable how that defensive line plays. But check this out, right? Who else is on our schedule coming up?
Are you asking me? Let's see. You got the Jets. You got Kansas City. You have the Patriots. You got the Chargers.
Chargers are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're 9th in the league in run defense. They've only given up 918 yards. Next team after that, Dolphins. They've only given up 956 yards. We still got to play them.
Yep.
Okay. Next team after that, the Patriots. We still have to play them. And they beat us. Okay. They benched their quarterback for the rest of the season, by the way. Bailey Zappi is the new starter. Yeah. Zappi is the new starter. So the guy that beat us is out of a job.
Unless he gets the Nathan Peterman treatment.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Well, he seems to be one of those guys every year. Correct. So the next team after that, Cowboys. Cowboys are on the schedule. They have only given up 982 rushing yards this season. Okay. Chiefs. Chiefs are, let's see, if that was 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th in the league. So slightly below the median at 1,010 yards. So my point, and I don't know if you can see a trend here, but let's see. After the Chiefs, who else do we have on the schedule still? We have the Jets. Is that it?
After the Chiefs?
After the Chiefs?
Dolphins?
Yeah, so I've gone through of the 7 teams that we still have yet to play. 6 of them are top half in the league.
We have the hardest schedule left, literally the hardest schedule left in the league.
Okay, now here's why I brought this up. I'm setting up a point. Bear with me.
I'm here.
If your call to fame this year is running the ball in order to set up the pass, how in the hell are you going to do that against these teams?
Good luck.
And you think Joe Brady's going to fix that?
I don't, but you know,
I'm not
Buffalo,
saying
I know you. I know,
but Sean McDermott thinks that Joe Brady is going to solve that problem. He's going to figure out a way to make the run, set up the pass even more.
Buffalo fans, they're rejoicing, man. I'm telling you, they're rejoicing
while playing efficient offense, while scoring 30 points a game.
I guess James Cook about to score. He about to score what, 3 touchdowns a game?
I got him on like three of my fantasy teams, so I might be set if that's true.
I mean, Leonard Fournette, he's they think he's gonna play soon. He said Buffalo Bills Mafia, I'm almost ready or whatever.
He might retire. he might look at what's going on. Listen, the Bills, according to ESPN, they have a 33% chance right now to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Fournette might be looking at that like, yo, I might need to save my health for next year. I might got another year left in me, but not this year.
You see let's see if I can find
I'm supposed to be playoff Lenny. Y'all ain't even getting there.
Right. No
sense.
Somebody tweeted, I don't know if it was Puna or somebody on behalf. Somebody tweeted out free Puna.
To go where?
I don't know.
To go back to the Seahawks?
I guess. I don't know.
Unbelievable. So Puna's going to do what? He going to go play tackle for him? He going to go relieve Jason Peters?
I don't know what he's going to do. I have no idea.
Free Puna Ford. Why?
I'm like, what? Free Puna. Okay.
Okay. Listen, everybody asking for freedom from this team.
Yeah, and this is kind of where I'm with it. And I mean, I've given up on money. I've given up on scouting. I've given up on everything that has anything to do with anything in 2024. I'm looking at this here.
As you should, because we're like $40 million in the hole.
Right. I'm looking at this here. Let's go through this exercise and see who do we want.
Okay.
Micah Hyde.
No.
Daquan Jones.
Yes.
Tim Settle.
No.
Leonard Floyd.
Yes.
Leonard Floyd be 32.
Not for the $7 million. No. Yeah, you drop that down to the vet men.
You had to restructure. Please don't.
Well, he's 1 year, right? It's only 1 year.
No, he's got void years in there.
Oh,
that's why he's on there. This was a 1 year deal. That was this year, but he's got 2 void years.
Okay.
So where are we? Shoot. Okay. Epinesa.
Yes.
I wish, but I don't think that's the one I'm like.
Why? You don't think they can get him for $10 million a year?
Where are they gonna get the 10 from? I don't know how to. I mean, if they can find $10 million and figure that part out, sure. Okay. Gabe Davis.
Hecky no.
Jordan Phillips.
Nah.
Tyler Medikevich.
Hecky no.
Puna Ford.
Yeah, if he takes the same.
If you're talking about free Punas, I don't think he's gonna take it back.
Well, he might not. Yeah, you might be right.
Dane Jackson.
No.
Tyrell Dodson.
No.
Trent Sherfield.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Damian Harris.
Nope.
David Edwards.
Nope.
Quentin Morris.
Yes.
Yeah, I do that. AJ Klein.
No.
Latavius Murray.
Yes.
I would be interested in Latavius. Shaq Lawson.
That's a tough one.
If he do it,
if he does the same contract, I could do that again.
I bump him up to $2 million just because. Thank you, Shaq.
Yeah, I can do that.
Kyle Allen.
No,
they're just gonna get another retread quarterback and put him back.
You're probably
right. That's what they're gonna do.
Maybe
Matt Barkley will come back next year. Cam Lewis.
Timeout. Is he on the practice squad still?
Who's that?
Matt Barkley.
No, he's in New York. They just signed him.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's a Giant.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So he might come. He might play.
Could. Yeah. He could.
I mean, after seeing what DeVito did, like he's probably gonna play.
Yeah. I mean, DeVito has nothing to lose. He lives on.
So Barkley got snatched from the practice squad then, or he was at home.
No, they cut him.
When did they cut him?
When they got that Shane Bussell, remember? Shane Bussell from Kansas City is on practice squad. I forgot all about that dude.
Yeah. Yo. Wow.
Yeah, they didn't put him on the practice squad.
Why wouldn't they bring up Shane? If they're so scared of Kyle, that's beside the point.
Never point.
Keep going.
Jermaine Ifedi.
29, nah.
Ty Johnson. And his 1 carry for 2 yards yesterday.
Nah.
Because they're trying to prove a point to James Cook. See? We suck because you
Oh, man. That's stuff you do in practice, not in the game.
Yeah. And you saw what Fred Jackson said. Fred Jackson went off on it. He tweeted. He said that's a bad look. Ooh. He said you don't do that. He said you don't bench a player for a fumble. He said that's just it's disrespectful basically.
Yeah.
It is.
That might have been why he was so mad the rest of the game. Like this is nationally he got embarrassed like that.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I would have brought it over. But yeah, Fred Jackson had stuff on, and I put it on the Facebook page. I think I put it on my Twitter too.
Okay.
So you can check it out for sure. But yeah, I mean, there's this cracks. All this organization. Adam Schefter on the Pat McAfee show wouldn't say what he said. You know, he wouldn't come out of his mouth and say it, but Pat McAfee was trying to goad him into saying that the locker room is screwed, and Schefter wouldn't deny it, but he wouldn't get to that conversation. He didn't want to go too far into that, but he was like, I can just tell you there's stuff going on in there. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad.
And that's what Shefty's saying?
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yep.
That's huge. What do you think that could be? Players in it. I mean, it's either players beefing with other players, like offense versus defense. I
think it's like Von Miller said. I made a point of it. You actually might have watched that show. I hope you guys are still here. I know we're over 2 hours.
We got two folk.
Okay, good. Hi, Mom.
That's got to be one of them.
She's one of them. Man. But
let me see if that's my mom in there too. Hold on.
But yeah, I mean, like we said before, we first started the show, we said, and I quote, Von Miller said, he said, I don't know, with Steph Day, I don't know what's going on. He said, I don't want to know. He said, but I'm on Steph's side or whatever.
Yeah.
Without even knowing he said it, I'm on Steph's side. And I said, it's not, who's the other side? Josh Allen said, we're not going to let this divide us. Between who?
Right.
What is this divide that you guys keep alluding to, but nobody's figured out yet? I mean, you obviously you have sources, so but my point is just rhetorically, when you want to think and be philosophical about this, people are alluding to some divide amongst them. Why was it not a full team, meeting? Why was it just offensive players only? There's a trend here. And all this started when Frazier left and somebody took over the other side.
Are we willing to say, are we willing to take it a step further and say all of this started when Dayball left?
Possibly. But the thing is, I think just like Dayball was for Josh, Frazier was probably for the defense.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's why I say when now when he takes over, there's nobody there. There's no buffer. There's no insulation. It's raw and uncut.
And Sean is a guy, I mean, let's be clear. Sean is a guy you need a buffer for.
You have to have a buffer.
You need somebody in between because working with that dude,
it's tough.
We've already proved it.
Yeah,
you can go back and watch the other episodes. We proved he is a micromanager, right? Mm-hmm. But let's keep going down the list. You got more people?
That was it.
Okay.
That was everybody.
All right.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. So here's what I want to do. I want to take the last few minutes and let's fix this.
Okay.
Let's fix this. Okay.
I did have one more stat before we go, and
sure.
This is my favorite stat. 11 missed tackles yesterday. 11 missed tackles. All right, so let's fix this.
This is my old man sound.
I'm so old, I didn't even notice.
Let's try and fix the Bills right now. Okay, give me your coaching fix, give me your player fix, and give me your scheme fix for offense and defense.
Okay, so without having a true name for the successor, McDermott's out of here. That's it. The head's gone.
Okay.
Whether it's Ben Johnson, whether it's somebody that we don't know. I personally would love to have a college head coach as offensive coordinator.
Have who?
A college head coach as offensive coordinator. I don't know what it is about the allure for the college head coach. They're hungry, but they also have the knowledge of how to run a whole team. But now they can focus on their set, which is that offensive side. They bring in creativity from the college game. And obviously, they got the ear to the pulse of youth, what they like to do, which is the team we're going to have, because in 2025, when we have to rebuild everything, it's going to be, I would expect to see a fire sale next year of trades, just draft capital.
Right.
And then they replenish the team in 2025 with a lot of draft picks, a lot of younger talent, which is why I hope that McDermott's not here anymore.
Same.
Yeah. But let's see. So that would cover the player fix, and that would cover. I think 2025. I think you just let it burn in 2024. Whoever you can keep under cap, we're not going to be good next year. I just don't see how, unless we get that third what do you call it? The third ranked schedule, because we come in third this year, so we get that strength of schedule for a number 3 team. And my man asked me, he's like, so that means we could possibly be good next year? You could backdoor your way into it the same way we did in 2017. But I don't think they're going to take the world by storm. And that's not me being a hater. That's just me thinking with the players we have next year, unless they have Overdorf pull some more magic out of his hat and not restructure everybody to 2025. That's what I'm afraid of. Using that cat at $71 million in 2025 and push everybody's contract to this. So you're going to have a 34-year-old, 33-year-old Deion Dawkins. You're going to have Steph Diggs, who's whatever. You're going to have Von Miller, who shouldn't even be here anymore, on a 2025 cap, and we're not going to be able to do anything young again. So that's why, to your point, McDermott has to go as soon as possible.
I agree with that. I do, however, disagree with we going to be bad next year.
Yeah.
Right? So if what did I say? I said a coaching fix, a player fix, and then a scheme fix.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So coaching fix, I agree. You got to get rid of Sean. You have to do it this year, right? Because you have to give the next guy time to install his system in a down year, right, when we have no cap.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you get all the money, now you can really start to invest in that offense that you've already set the foundation for. Mm-hmm. And then from that point on, 2025, you boom, going into your new stadium, and everything is just grand from there, right? Now, if we're going to do that, we need to understand that the first thing we have to get into this building is an offensive-minded head coach. We have to have a guy that is bringing a scheme with him that is able to do some of the things that Dayball was able to do with Josh, for Josh, from the get-go. Okay? Two names that I like based on what I've seen, and Ben Johnson, but Bobby Slowick.
Wait, Bobby
offensive
Slowick, that's Houston.
Yeah, Houston's offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And when you look at what he's been able to do with a rookie quarterback and weapons that, let's be honest, probably wouldn't be a starter on a team that's over 500.
You've been studying, because last week you're like, who the hell is that? I remember you said, who the hell is
that? But to see what he's done with that offense this year, you wouldn't think that team had a defensive head coach.
Right. And see, that's my conundrum when people mention offense, like you just said. And I'm fine with having an offensive head coach, but like you said, to see that team, you wouldn't even think it, because he has. And I said last week, he has a defensive coordinator. He calls the plays,
right?
But he works hand in hand with a DC to make the best call.
Right. And the DC he's a younger guy. He's a player who played within the last 10 years, 10, 12 years, DeMeco Ryans.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got a better sense of what the league is now than I would say about 70% of the coaches in the league.
I would agree.
Right. But
I'm fine with I'm not opposing it. I'm fine with your offensive head coach.
No, I know. Yeah. I know. Yeah. So I think you go that route. One of those two guys would be a dream for me. I think both of those guys have an opportunity to come in and work with Josh and make this offense, operate at a point where, you don't have to have, like, let's think about it like this. Did anybody think Amon-Ra St. Brown coming out of the draft would be what he is now? No. Right? Did anybody think that, besides you, Did anybody think that Noah Brown or Nico Collins would be as valuable as they are now to a team? No, right? So my point in saying all that is, if you get the right guy in the door, he can take what you have and make it work, and make the guys that you already have on your team much more valuable to the team, right? So we need that, okay? That would be my coaching fix. My player fix, and this is kind of a tough one because as much as I like, I'm of the mindset that we can re-sign Sherfield to be our number 2, right? So I'm talking about adding somebody who isn't here, right? So if I want to fix the defense, I'm gonna go trade and or get the most athletic, the best. If I can trade for Surtain, I'm trading for Surtain, if that's what it's got to be. But I am trying to go get the best corner that I can get to pair with Rasul Douglas so that my corners can ball out next year. Okay? Defensive end wise, Rousseau and Epinesa for me work. I'm fine with that. Let Shaq Lawson back up Epinesa, and on rundowns, 4th and 1, he can come in and be right. So I think if I'm looking at it, I need a stud corner. I think you have guys that can go in and play safety. You still have Taylor Rapp here. DeMar Hamlin's still under contract next year. I think you can kind of rock with those guys in a down year, right? Even if you wanted to stretch it out and go with Cam Lewis at safety, you find a defensive coordinator that knows how to make that work, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think for him, I think he can do it. He just needs the reps. He doesn't have to have the reps to be a special teams maven, which McDermott loves, and learn a new position as well.
Right. Now, here's the other thing I was thinking too immediately. With Trey White's injury, I think he could be a pretty good safety. He's not going to have the same speed, which is fine because at safety you don't really need it that much, right? I think he could come in and become a great safety. He's already great at zone coverage. And I understand that the transition from corner to safety can be difficult, but the way that Trey White is played, he's kind of like a safety on one side of the field.
The only thing I'm worried about with Trey White in terms of being a safety is his tackling ability.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, our safeties in general aren't great tacklers to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So if I'm talking about a down year and somebody who's already under, unless you're going to get rid of Trey White.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if they
no, I'm agreeing. I'm not saying
okay. Yeah. No, I'm good either way.
Yeah.
If you say get rid of him, cool. But yeah. So my player fix, stud corner, to pair with Rasul Douglas, I think that helps the back end of that defensive backfield. To perform a little bit better and not have so much pressure on them when you've got corners that are great at playing their positions, and that also helps the pass rush too. Schematically, on offense, I think you need to find a happy medium with I don't know if I can say happy medium, but I think you need to find a plane of existence like Dayball did, where Josh can be himself but still play within a scheme.
Yeah.
I think anything like that where you have a vertical attacking style offense that allows Josh to be himself while still scrambling, while still being a playmaker, however you need to work that out. Now, here's where you need to change the scheme, right? You need to, and this might be more so for player. Mm-hmm. You need to strengthen that offensive line. I don't know what the restructure of Dawkins' contract does for dead cap hit, but if there's some way to move him, trade him, get that contract off your hands, and get a real left tackle in here that can run block better than he can, and Spencer Brown's got to get the heck out of town. Mitch Morse has got to get the heck out of town. Yeah. So basically, those three spots on my offensive line, if I had to keep one, I would keep Dawkins. I don't think Mitch Morse is a great run blocker. And while Spencer Brown is a pretty good run blocker, I hate his pass blocking ability.
Yeah,
he cannot anchor. Cut. He can't anchor.
Yeah, he's too high cut. It's not gonna happen.
So your center and your right tackle have to go. You have to replace those positions. But all that is to say, invest in your offensive line and build an offensive line that can consistently run the ball when they need to. 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. It don't have to be the tush push. We should be able to go I formation, goal line formation, and pound it.
Right. Say if you cut Mitch Morris $3 million.
Okay.
You cut Deion Dawkins.
Well, his contract is up next year. Next year anyway, right?
Yeah, this is cut. This is cut before the season.
Okay.
So next year's the last year.
Okay.
Who else was there?
Dawkins
is 11.7 mil if you cut him.
Okay. What if you cut him after that, or trade him? Actually, what's trade?
So you trade him.
It's the same.
Yeah, it's the same. But if you trade him, see the thing is, if you trade him post June 1, if you designate him post June 1, it drops dramatically with the spreads out over 2 seasons. Then it would go into 2025, which I mean you could do it.
Yeah. I would again, if I had to keep one guy, it would be Dawkins.
Yeah.
Because of the contract. He's a average to above average left tackle, but way too much lean in his game for him to be an elite left tackle. So
yeah, he plays like a guard.
Right. So even if we just I wouldn't move him to guard. Maybe McGovern's played center. We can put McGovern at center and put Dawkins at guard.
Put Bates. Well, you could put.
Oh yeah, forgot about Bates.
Yeah, he could play. He could really play right tackle if you really wanted him to.
Nah. I want a big guy there. I want a fat dude.
I mean, what is Bates? What is Bates? He's
like 305 or something. Yeah,
6'4", 305. What about Vandermark?
Was Vandermark?
No,
he might be similar in size. No.
Yeah, I think he's about the same size. Ryan Vandermark is 6'7", 307. He's smaller.
Okay. I mean, he has been getting a lot of and he's 25. I like that.
Yeah.
I would give him a shot. At right tackle. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, for a down year, basically you're in a position now where you have to get a center. You draft one or you sign one, or however you got to get one, or trade for one. Go get yourself a center, right? And protect Josh.
Yep.
If you can do that, the offense will be fine.
A big nasty center, somebody that anchors, somebody can toss you around.
Right.
I mean, the loss for Mitch Morris is the pullability. He's definitely elite in terms of his pull game.
Yeah.
So that's pull game. But I mean, I'm just thinking about the construct of the offensive line. You got Torrance, obviously. He's had a couple of rough games, but that's to be expected from a rookie, which is fine. Spencer Brown, I mean, how much are you going to invest in a right tackle? Are you going to play 12 just so you can keep somebody to chip Spencer Brown? No. Deion Dawkins, he's been, I guess, the best offensive lineman we've had thus, lately. Mm-hmm. Connor McGovern was just a bad signing. I mean, he hasn't been great, he hasn't been good, but he hasn't been horrible. He just is.
The typical Sean McDermott signing.
Yeah, he just is, and they gave him too much money. Give him way too much money.
And then last but not least, schematically, defensively, I would just, my corners, my secondary in general, just they have to play more aggressive. I think the linebackers in the defensive line, the aggression they play with, and the skill level and talent level they play with is good. Mm-hmm. I think it's good enough to win a lot of games. Mm-hmm. But I can't have a secondary that is, showing before the ball is snapped that they're giving receivers 7 yards of cushion. Yeah. You know what I mean?
On a higher count, too, they're bailing. Like, yo, what are you doing?
Right. So, way too much of that, and way too much fear in the secondary of that defense. That needs to change.
Yeah.
So those are things that I would do to fix the problem. So I think at this point, do you have more? Or
I feel better.
Okay.
I feel better.
Me too. I feel like we've addressed the issues. We've stretched them out. We've examined everything. But for those people who we did say at the beginning of the episode, this one's going to be salty.
You lucky.
So
you lucky this is alive because you don't want to go back and edit this one.
Yeah, we had 2.5 hours already, man.
We doing a WGR pilot show right now.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Right.
Listen, give us a job, man. We'll do this all day long.
I'd be happy to jump on with somebody and discuss and go through some stats and hey, it'd be fun to have a cameo every once in a while. But that's down the line. We'll get there.
Right.
We'll get there. But right now I'm having fun talking Bills with you and talking Bills with everybody that chooses to stay around with us.
Bro, same. All right. I guess I'll start pulling stuff up here and trying to get the music lined up.
I got it on. What's it called too? I got it on for you.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Yeah. So, you zeroed it out too. So we've gone as far as to address the problems, stretch them out, examine them, but we also fix the problems too. And hopefully that brings some relief to those people who. I don't want to lose because what's the options? Well, we've given you that now, and we've created a scenario where it's not just change for the sake of change, it's change for the sake of transitioning into something better.
And I would love to know what you guys have to think, to answer the exercise that Aramis presented earlier. What would you do with the coaching? What would you do with the players and the philosophy? I mean, that's a good way for you to think about it. You don't have to get too into the weeds with the money. You have to get too into the weeds with who's available. Obviously you can't say I want Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels and Tom Brady. That's not going to work. But, right. Inside the scope of what's logical, I would love to know, what you guys would do with what we got. Love it.
All right. With that being said, we got the closeout music going, and we got about a minute left. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank everybody, for tuning in. I think this is the most amount of views that we've had during a live episode, and it's been great. So thank you to everybody that tuned in. Thank you for everybody that's still tuned in. We love having y'all. We love doing this for y'all. We got our ear to the chats. We got our ear to Facebook. Everywhere that you can reach us. Whatever you want to see on the show, whatever you want to see us talk about, if you have any questions, hit us up. We're here for all of it, right? We're willing to dedicate the time and effort and energy necessary to get the answers. But past all that, because we got to get out of here. My dinner's getting cold. This has been the Post Podium Podcast. Typically home of the all truth, no sodium takes, but today it was salty as all get out.
It was lightly salty.
It was the Red Sea, baby. It was that bad boy. But anyways, thank y'all for tuning in. I've been your co-host Aramis.
This is Key,
and we are out.